a Jewish rabbi, and then this other lady, I'm a pastor. So what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about those titles anymore. And honestly, there don't even have to be a law to not indoctrinate our children. It's passing away. Religion as we know it, Black church is passing away. Good afternoon. Yes. So those are some of the titles that we're starting with. What's up, my good people? Hey, hey, hey. Yes. And it's a new season. So there may be a shift where I do allow pastors only, I'm not dealing with Christians, where I will allow pastors to come up just so we can show them just how powerless they are. What you laughing at over there? Hey, my good people. Oh, okay. Yes. So if there was, like, how would that work? If we were able to not have our children indoctrinated, of course we don't want the government in our business. We don't want them in our lives no more than they already are. But how do you protect kids? How can you protect teenagers, especially somebody that's 16 and they're awakened and they don't want the religion, but then they're forced to go. They have to go because they live with their mom. Like, how do they just have to deal with it until they get out of their parents' house? Or is there something that could be put in place? Because think about it. Most of us right now are deconstructing our faith and our Christianity because we were traumatized. We were traumatized when we were kids. Raymond, this is a good question for you. We were traumatized, and now we're all healing and recovering and getting over being overweight, being broke, being sick from the church. But it's because of something that happened to us when we were teenagers. So how do we fix that? And the question, Raymond, was like, if there was something put in place that could keep kids from being indoctrinated if they chose to. Uh, oh, the girl from no, I'm not Stacy Dash. Yeah. So like, how could we have protected it? For example, I'm in a court case right now where I filed criminal and civil charges against a minister who did something to me when I was 15 years old, right? And indecency with a minor and via exposure of his private part and contact, right? So I decided to file charges. And that happened to me when I was a teenager. But something else also happened to us. We were indoctrinated by this crazy religion, and now we're fixing ourselves. What could have been in place? What should be put in place? And it may be nothing that we can ever do about it. And it could simply be, well, we just got to wait till that generation passes away or until religion just dies altogether. Hey, YouTube. Hey, Instagram. I got YouTube and Instagram over here. Yeah, so Raymond, if you're still here, I've decided that, if a pastor comes through here, I might let him up in the box, and but I'm not going to debate with Christians for sure. And even the Christians that are going in, on Dream Girl Bree, the girl that just passed away, the young lady and her cousin, saying these are Christians saying this. See, this is why you got to get right with God. It's because of the way she was living her life. That's how she ended up. Yet these same Christians live their life every day being gluttonous, gossiping, and judging. But they're okay with God. But, Dream Girl Bree, it's because she wasn't right with God. It's the lifestyle that they live in. But you also have a lifestyle. What's up? Hey, we were just talking about what we were talking about. What me and you were discussing about that, the law. But I'm on TikTok. If y'all want to come on TikTok, that's usually where I'm focused and where people come up in the box. And so, thank you, Terry. And it's all Christians. That's the first thing you'll see because I've been following that story about Dream Girl, and you know, she was the one that was flashing the money and had the party and doing their thing as 21-year-old kids do. And she was unalived, and all you see are Christians in the comments. This is why we got to get right with God. People get unalived every day, and it's always just because somebody died a certain way, they just need to get their life right with God. But you don't need to get your gluttony right with God. You don't need to get your judgmental, lying spirit right with God. And you never know somebody's heart anyway. D Stig, weren't we conversating about how we could protect teenagers and young people from being forced to go to church or being forced to believe in a religion? I thought that was me and you on Instagram. They use any situation as an excuse to bring up God. Oh my God. You're right. So if there is a mass school pew-pewing, right? See, that's why we need to get right with God. At the funeral, this is why we need to get right with God. Yes, they want to make you feel guilty for when they are literally sitting in sin in that very moment. Just by judging somebody, just by assuming that you know, she probably would give her the shirt off her back, would probably help anybody financially, but go to the church. The same people that was in those comments talking about how she passed away, she probably would do anything for anybody. She looked like she loved her family, she loved her friends. But if one of her friends asked her something, she'd do it. The way that they're talking, she would do it. But you go to a church and ask for help. Let me check your tithing record. Let me check if you've been present. They will use any. I love that. Church folk and Christians will use up any excuse to bring up God. But they won't list what they're doing though. They won't list all the planks that are in their eye, but they're so quick to pull out the little specks in other people's eyes. Ninjas all the time. For real. All the time. And it's a new day. People are standing up and talking back to them. A little bug next to me. I rebuke, it's the enemy. Little mosquito. Yeah. And they don't like the fact that we're talking back to them, especially the pastors. Like, I'll call you by your first name. I don't have no respect or no authority for your so-called man-made, manufactured authority, and I talk about that. That their authority as a pastor, if somebody, like they come in here all the time, well, I'm pastor so-and-so. Okay, your authority is manufactured, it's made up. That you have no power just because you say I'm a pastor. And just like you said, they find any reason to bring up God, they will bring up their title before anything else. We can't just have a conversation. What's your first name? What's your name? Obsessed with titles. I'm Bishop. With that pastor voice, right? So in my last live, I usually don't let pastors come up. I'm going to do a shift and I might start allowing that. Not Christians. I'm not going to go back and forth with Christians. I want to go straight to the top, right? And bring you down. Hey, Miss Jackson, she said that's so true. And it's like, okay, you're a pastor, you're a bishop, great. But can we talk? Can you just be Michael today or Mr. Williams? I can respect you and call you Mr. this or that. But they feel like it's their title that is going to get them in the room and get us to listen. And that's not, it's the love. How about that? How about the love first? And so if you are just joining, I am on Instagram and I am on YouTube. And we were talking about how we were talking about a lot of things. Like, what if you could be protected from being indoctrinated? And then we started talking about titles, how a lot of these pastors are so obsessed with their title, but you won't get an ounce of love or help from them. I thought of you reading two articles, one pastor gambling the money, another wanting back tithes. Yes, I think I saw one about the pastor gambling. Most Black pastors were called but never actually went to seminary. I went to seminary. Miss Jackson, Dion said, hey to you. Oh, she said, hey, my good people to you. You're supposed to be submissive once they announce who they are. Terry, why are you just taking all the words right out my mouth, right? Literally. It's like, and here's the thing, Jesus didn't even like that. If you look at there, in the text, he's like, why do you call me Lord? He didn't want anybody worshiping him. And I get the respect of me calling you Mr. or Mrs. this, that, and that, but it's the fact that you and even if you say I'm a pastor, I'll say, okay, I'm not going to be like, oh, shut up, you're not a pastor. It's the fact that they tell you that means now we got to listen to it. Now we have to accept what you say because I just announced that I'm Pastor Corbin. Okay, I'm Bishop Jackson on today, but we're just here on TikTok. I understand if I walk into your church for I'll go to a wedding or like a funeral. Yeah. Dion's sitting right across from me, Miss Jackson. If I walk into your church, I don't mind showing respect. If that's what you say, you're the pastor, okay, cool. But if we're on TikTok, hey, what's up? Or we're just here and they come in here and we're in deconstructing and working out our own, what we call salvation. Well, I'm Pastor so-and-so. Like the lady that was here in the last live. I asked her, I said, why is your username Pastor Judge? She said, because I'm a pastor and I'm also a judge in my county. But I'm like, can you just be Melissa today? Can we like? But she was also trying to preach to us too, so I had to get up out of here. Um, Greetings. But it's like Jesus himself just wanted to be called Jesus. When I was a first lady of a church, I didn't want them to call me first lady. I didn't want them, and plus I was 21. Who I'm gonna first and lady? Who I'm gonna try to tell about their marriage? I was married to somebody at that time, a pastor. We weren't even supposed to be married. So how am I gonna talk to them? I'm supposed to guide you. You've been married longer than I've been on this earth, but you come into our church, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna prove that comment. I don't know why it told me, yes, you better stop telling the truth. It's like I'm 21. And we've been a minister to y'all. We weren't even supposed to be married. How am I gonna tell you about your marriage? So I'm like, just call me Dorian. And of course, the mothers of the church, they didn't like that. They didn't like that because I felt like I'm just like y'all. I go at that time when I was 21. I'm going through shit. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It came out. Because I'm talking about church. I'm thinking I'm not supposed to be myself, but I am. But I was married to a man that was putting his hands on me. You know, and here I am allowing that because they told me to allow it because it's just the devil. But I'm gonna sit here and minister to somebody else in their marriage. Do I think that fornication is wrong? No, I do not. Ooh, I don't think fornication is wrong if you're two adults and you're consensual. You're grown. You are grown. Y'all can chime in. I'm Dorian Marie. If you just joined, and I am on a church boycotting churches that are not doing anything for the community. And we need to empty the pews and empty their pockets. And I do have the book out. The link is there. The link is, oh, IamDorian.com. That's where you can get it. No, if you're grown, you're consensual. And here's the thing, right? I've had church folk that stand on the praise team every week and judge what I do when they've had abortions. I don't know if I can say that TikTok, but I've already said it. Amen. Yeah, they've had abortions. They fornicated the very child that they have right now. They had out of wedlock, but yet they're judging me and how I live and how they think I live. No, if you are an adult and you want to sleep with a man and you want to sleep with a woman, that's you. And here's the thing, whatever comes out of that, if you get pregnant, if you get a disease, that's something that you have to deal with. And if it's fine and it's nice, okay, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When I first fornicated after deconstruction, happy deconstruction, Ninja gonna put his hands on you, yet minister, yeah. Yeah. And let me tell you something. I called the police. It's on record. You can hear the 911 calls and all that, but I never pressed charges because I was in a church and they said it was just the devil. It was just the devil trying to steal your marriage. And I was like, dang, the devil black with a fist? A black fist? I didn't know that. But I found out then. Yes, one more question. Go ahead. And I'm gonna talk about that fornication situation. It's called life. It ain't. It's as natural as nature, for sure. It's natural. If we're attracted to each other, we're adults, and there are consequences and rewards to everything that we do. And you should feel guilty about it. Ask me your question while you're typing your question. And guess what? I do allow you to come in the box. If you want to come up in the box, you can come in the box, share a few things. If you have a question, you don't have to turn your camera on. And if you're in alignment, you can sit up there and just chill. I don't debate Christians. I don't talk about politics because I don't care about the president. He don't care about me. I don't care. It doesn't matter which president. I don't care if they black, white, Democratic, Republic. They're not thinking about me. I'm not thinking about them. I'm focusing on my own life. And most of you have had all your struggles under every single president. So it's not the president. We need to focus on ourselves. Um, Somebody was in there talking about, I'm going to get back to my fornication story. Somebody's talking about, look at you talking about deconstruction. I bet you voted for so-and-so. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Some of you are 40, 50, 60 years old and you've been broke. You've been in debt. You've had struggles all your life under every single president. You are the common denominator. We have yet to learn how to take our life into our own hands and start to manifest and create the life we want. So you're going to, okay, respectfully, so you're going to be okay. I assume you say, am I going to be okay with fornication? Why wouldn't I be? First of all, I'm married. I don't care who fornicates. I get it in with my husband, so I don't care about everybody else's life. That's the problem with church folk. We're so concerned about what everybody else is doing, yet you're still obese. Yet you've got 5 diseases in your body. And we worrying about what is a sin and what's not a sin. Some of you are sinning right now because you're judging me on based on, not saying you, but you're judging based on what I'm saying right now. Okay? And I don't even believe in sin anyway. I believe that people make choices. Hey, Prophet, we kind of touched on what we were talking about, and we're going to go back to that because you made me see, you put everything into words, what I was trying to say about the law, that it doesn't also, have to end up into a law. But some of y'all, it costs you nothing to mind your business. And if you're going to mind my business, mind it with kindness, right? But some of you are literally worrying about what is a sin and what's not a sin instead of just focusing on the stuff you need to focus on. Which I don't believe in sin. I believe we make choices, and there's always going to be an end result to that choice. Agree, because I'm married as well. But what about the biblical principles and scriptures? Oh, Kenobi. I assume it's Kenobi. This is a deconstruction page. I literally have. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I'm sorry. That's probably why you can't read it. I didn't flip and mirror my screen. I'm sorry. I have a hat on that says "Empty the pews, empty their pockets." I'm not a Christian. I don't subscribe to religion. I subscribe to life. Just me. So no, I don't believe in the biblical principles and scriptures because I've done better without it. I'm actually, a whole lot better without those. Anywho, so yeah, I don't care. I don't care about somebody fornicating. So when I deconstructed, of course, fornication, you don't do that, right? So the first year, I was like, okay, somebody's like, this guy is interested in you. I was like, okay. It was like the first year that I'm done with the church and all that. And I was kind of testing the waters. First, I tested the waters with cussing because I never cussed. I never cuss. That's unholy. That's foul mouth. You don't do that. Okay, boom. Thank you, Kenobi. Yeah, sure. And I was like, okay. So the first time I was like, for real? Oh, shit. And I kind of looked around. I was like, okay, nothing happened. Man, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I kind of looked around, nothing happened, right? It's like, okay. And so now I just do it if it just comes out, but I've gotten away from it. But I used to just do it all the time because I was free. You know how you let somebody loose after being in a sheltered home? Then boom. And then I just started cussing just to be cussing. How you doing? Man, I'm fucking good. Just because, shoot, I'm 30. What time was I? What time was I in that year? I was 25. No, I was 35 years old. And so I had never, cussed. I'm like, ooh. And it felt good. I think it was just the freedom of it. It wasn't just about the cussing. It was just the freedom of being able to say what I want to say. And so then the next thing came to drinking. I didn't drink. And I still don't drink today because I just don't like the taste of it. That's not my thing. Cake. It's a whole lot of cake over there that I think that's why I was big back in the church. So then I was like, choices and consequences, all part of the learning process. So then I was like, okay, my cousins and everybody would drink around me. Even when I was in the church, I never would drink because at 16, somebody gave me, what's the gold drink? It's got the flakes in it. And I was 16 and they gave me my first drink. And then they gave me a second one and a third one. My first time ever drinking. And I found myself laying on a bed. It was a house party. I was in a church gospel group and they was having a house party and they had me come over there and I was laying in the bed and I woke up with no clothes on and this guy was about to do something to me and a Goldschlager. I always forget it, but that's what it is, Goldschlager. Yeah. And somebody never drinking, ever. And we're all teenagers. I'm naked and the guy, I can see him about to do something to me, but I had no control. And then my boyfriend at the time, the leader of the group, comes in, get up, yeah, right? Then he takes advantage of me. So from that day, I said I'll never drink. And so I just started eating to cope. But I don't judge nobody who drinks. I don't like the taste of it. Yes, that was my first drink, and they gave me 3 of them. And I just took it to the head. I didn't know what it was. It was nasty to me. But now, my thing is sugar, right? It's okay. I survived that. So, anyways, so then I said, okay, I tried the drinking. I was like, I only wanted to do it to be social because I was the only Christian girl. And now I'm deconstructing that. I want to know what it's like. And I tasted it. I was like, they said, just start with lemon drops, Moscato, like the baby drinks. He said, you was fun. I was. And I didn't know. I was just, ooh, all of that. And we was Christians. I had to get up the next day to play at his daddy church because his daddy had a church. His daddy was a pastor. We all had to get up. I remember driving home We was at a house, like a house party. I remember driving home trying to get dressed, running into a ditch, had his sister in the car with me. That was messed up. So I decided I don't like not being in control. So boom, I got over that. And you only sip sweet wine in the safety of my home. My husband taught me about that. He's like, if you ever going to do stuff like that, you should do that in the safety of your home where, you know, whatever. But I don't like the taste of it. I like cake. Give me a cupcake. And then fornication came. He's like, okay, somebody's interested in you. And I'm like, well, I'm not married, so we can't have sex. I know that, right? Uh, right? And I was like, okay, well, what if he want to have sex? I was telling my friend. She was like, okay, just go with the flow. You an adult? I was like, no, that's sin. Galen, I rebuke that spirit right now. Putting cupcakes in the chat. And and I said, okay, if he want to, what am I gonna do? So I ended up doing it. And so afterwards, I was like waiting for the waiting for the thunder, waiting for the punishment to come, right? And it never came. And so I called my friend. I was like, I had sex, and I was 36. It was like 10 years ago. 30 no 37. 37 years old, right? Because I deconstructed 35, so it took me a year and a half to do it, and I did it. We did it. I was like, okay, no sin. And here's the thing: I didn't feel guilty. That was the thing. I didn't feel convicted, and that bothered me more than actually being convicted. So I'm like, okay, I don't feel guilty. And then I start to get mad. I'm like, so this really is okay? So we did it again, right? It wasn't good, but we did it again because he was a drunk. So he couldn't really function well because he was a drunk. And so I was like, okay, well then, dang, where's the conviction of cussing and the conviction from taking a drink? And as you said, choices and consequences. It's all about part of the learning process. And I learned that my audio is low. I might have to take my y'all let me know, anybody else who lets me know that it's low. I'm not at home today. And so then so I started letting go of the idea of sin and just saying, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna make choices, and whatever happens from those choices, that's what's up for me. My first real drink was a year because I left the church last year. Okay, fear factors used to control you for sure. So it's not. That's just not my thing. Everybody got their thing. The audio is good. Okay, boom. No such thing as sin. It's choices. And if it's a thing of sin, like I was talking about, if y'all are just joining, Dream Girl Bree, who just was unalive. I see Christians all on all those pages saying she should have got her life right with God. That's why you need to get your life right with God. So everybody that dies in a certain way means that their life is not right with God. When they're literally judging somebody in that very moment for that girl's lifestyle, they don't know. It's choices. I love that, and that's what I've learned. Yes, you can come in the box if you want to come in the box. You're in alignment. I do not. Go ahead. You can open your chips. You act like we in church. Shh, we in church. Open up them cashews. Are you talking about the Brie girl? Yes, I'm talking about how Christians have been all over anything that's related to her, saying that she wasn't living right, and that's why she was unalived. When it doesn't matter, when they themselves are not living right, right? And then here's the thing. I saw those comments too. It was so distasteful. Yes, everything's a choice. I used to do this in church. I would come to church all dressed up, and I would take everything off. It bothers me. And I would be playing the piano. I don't like jewelry on when I'm in my flow. But yeah, all the Christians were saying that she needed to do this, but yet those same Christians are literally probably eating a plate of fried food while they're judging this girl. I'm pulling up at the airport. Rich blessings as you leave the light on for others who are at the crossroads for deconstruction. Thank you for joining us, Casey. I'm on TikTok and YouTube if y'all want to join. Yes, right with God. I don't see the rest of your comment. And that's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter how somebody else is living when they themselves. We all have work to do. All have work to do in every area. Thank you, Terry. See y'all later. I'll probably be on here for another 30 minutes. Yes, Terry, I'll be on here Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Mondays, good Lord. Mondays, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Stop it right now. Yes. I saw those comments. It was very distasteful. It's the fact that just because somebody dies a certain way, they not right with God. Let's just say somebody's driving and they get into a car crash and it blows up because of the fuel and stuff. So they wasn't right with God because the way they died was, hey, 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 thank you. Here's another one. When they talk about if you commit, if you unalive yourself, they say you're going to hell. Okay? That's what the Christians say. I'm gonna answer your question, Mocha. They say that if you unalive yourself, you're going to hell. Again, yet church folk and Christians unalive themselves every day slowly by having hate, bitterness in their heart, eating unhealthy food. Let's just start with the unhealthy food and the unhealthy habits that they have. They don't. You're unaliving yourself slowly. So should you go to hell too? Do you believe there's a higher power but not God? At this point in my life, I believe that I am my own higher power because still to believe that there's a higher power, I'm still looking for something outside of myself. I don't knock anybody else who believes that. I am in an Indian store, so if you hear, it's the coffee shop that's close to my husband's shop. So most Christians eat their life away but want to bash others. Approve. I never agree with that statement. Boom. That should be fine. They do that in Africa. I know you had to leave, so I don't know what you mean by Africa. But yes, I don't agree with it either. The thing about unaliving is that majority of the time someone pushed them to do that. Oop, I wouldn't be surprised if it was somebody that was in religion. Yeah, so I don't, and here's the thing, everybody should believe whatever they want. I don't know everything. I know everything that pertains to me, and I know everything that works for me. The fact that I had 4 diseases in the church come out of the church, I don't have them anymore because they were related to fear, anxiety, and I got rid of those things, right? I know that my money's better. My mind is better. I have peace of mind because I'm not being told what to do all the time. Something that does not resonate with me, something that doesn't align with me. Nobody knows my purpose like me. But if you don't know how to go within and figure that out, you're going to listen to any and everybody. What happened to the billions of people before Christianity? They're in hell. They're in Hades. Literally preach on smoking, but buy a 10-piece fried chicken right after church, right after the service. Because you tell me God is love, but yet people are dying, living in poverty. And they wonder why we're deconstructing. What happened to them? They're in hell. Remember? They're in hell because they never heard the gospel preached to them. It's all passing away. That's the reality. It is literally passing away. As the older generation is passing away, yeah, you may have a church or two still left, but people are, it's like a mass awakening. It's a beautiful thing. So I didn't do it. People just waking up, and these pastors and church folk were mad at me. Let's go back to that. They preach on smoking, and I did a video about that. Like, you tell me what not to put in my mouth, because they talk about oral sex, right? Oral sex is evil. Oral sex is bad. You're not supposed to be putting your mouth on that, but you put your mouth around 2 pieces of fried pork chops, everything fried. So why are we separating what we're putting in our mouths? You put a cigarette in your mouth. How is that worse than somebody putting a ding-a-ling in their mouth? The concept of hell, to me, ridiculous, because you just burn forever, always, in this body. Yet the biggest givers really don't have the money to give. They're giving until it hurts. And where does the hurt come in? Because you just gave your light money, your light bill money. You had money set aside that you were going to give. Okay, cool. But when they start saying, we need a sacrificial offering, y'all not giving enough. They counted it, and then they go back around and they come back onto the mic. It's because, we need this or that. Now you're giving, now it hurts. If there was a hell, we are all going, like Curtis Mayfield said in this song. We need therapy and meds sometimes, for sure. I therapize myself. When I write, it therapizes me. Some people need to go see somebody and talk to somebody. Kababats invites you to co-host. Kababats, I don't know who you are. You're going to have to give me a little more information before I pull you up. Sometimes. Somebody told me that they're going to need medication for the rest of their lives because of something that happened to them in the church. Goodness gracious. I'm gonna need them to stop. Go tell them to stop, Dion. Tell them to stop right now in the name of Jesus. And see if that happens. See if there's power.
They're gonna kick us out of here if we mention Jesus.
If we mention Jesus. I just want to see if there's power. Tell them I'm on live, and in the name of Jesus, stop it.
Power in whatever they're doing over there.
Go tell them. I was in therapy for months after leaving the church. They did stop earlier. I'm gonna go tell them in the name of Jesus. I'm gonna stretch my hand for it.
You're gonna lose your hand. Don't go messing with them people.
It's the enemy. It's a disruptive spirit. Remember how them babies used to start crying? They'd be like, "Get them babies out of here." My old church used to have 800 members.
They're back there fixing my cheese.
Oh, okay. Now they barely have 50. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not doing it. The pews are being emptied. People are not going to be able, people can't afford to go to church. And there's just a mass awakening. And the people that are fighting, they're going to end up deconstructing anyway. You all have to accept Christ for the power to fall on you. Lord Jesus, we still here. Yeah, we still hear you. Okay, boom. Thank you. I was a little concerned, that y'all couldn't hear me. I appreciate it. So user 43 blah 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 says you have to accept Christ for the power to fall on you. I did accept Christ in 1995. I rejected him though, bro. And the real reason all of our broke is because they send half their paycheck to church. I'm telling you, that's what my church boycott is about. User, I'm not done with you. User, I want to ask you some questions about the power. That's what the church boycott is about. Taking your time, money, resources back to yourself. People are giving to church and they're still in debt. That's the first page of my book. I have a book, Empty the Pews, Empty Their Pockets. I said, if you are in debt, you have no business giving to church. If you don't have money stacked to help you, okay, user. First of all, user, you said I have to accept Christ for the power. So when the power falls on me, what's going to happen? What is going to happen? I know he acts like we don't know about it. He acts like we don't know the Bible, like we've never been Christian, we've never been saved. But what's going to happen when the power falls on us? What's going to happen? Personally, I do believe in a higher power. Okay, but the regimen and hypocrisy of some church folk, right? Right. And so I believe that there are entities working outside of, of myself, but I don't look outside of myself. I believe that I'm causing it. So that makes me God. Like, let's say, because I have a manifestation page. Oops, I forgot to open it up. I have a manifestation page, right? About manifestation. And I teach you and I talk about how to use your words to form your world, right? So that makes me God in my life. It's on my website, iamdorian.com, along with the book Into the Pews, Into Their Pockets. The book that pastors are mad about. This one pastor said, I'm going to read your book. I said, okay, great. If you want to get dragged for 36 pages, this page, type this page in the chat. That's where I talk about manifestation. So if we're going to talk about a power outside of myself, it's the power that's in me, and then I speak and I design and I see what I want and I manifest it. And I believe the outer world, the universe, whatever it is, whether it's, entities, circumstances, people, it all forms what I'm manifesting. So you're a believer in Jesus Christ? Hell no. To the no. I said a hell to the no. Hell no. To the no. Amen. Yeah, I'm not. Thank you. Yeah, empty the pews, empty their pockets. And you see that? She just says, okay, thanks, and keeps it moving. If all other Christians were like that. I don't know. What am I saying to make people think that? I'm going to keep going if you were. Oh, you was going to keep going if you were. Keep going which way? Did I miss something else you said? Maybe I missed something you said. You're a backup singer. Oh, they talking about you, Dion. Did I say something to make you believe that I was a believer? Or did I miss some of your comments? No, I cannot believe in Jesus Christ. The red letters, I mean, everything he said was be nice, be kind to people, be loving. There's nothing to it. But the fact that he went to hell for my sins, let me tell you something. If I was Jesus Christ, I'd be pissed because he took 40 stripes for you to be healed. And if you're sick, I'd be pissed. Like, God, you're my father. and you had them beat me 40 stripes so that they could be healed. Why are these people still sick? Loser, I'm sorry, user, if you get warned for what you are doing by Christ, can you be forgiven? What am I doing? I love. They call you out, but believe a boat filled with animals spread animals after a flood. There's no way I can believe in Jesus or God. I'm not made in the image of that God at all. I don't have to accept Christ. I am power. I accept myself. And in seminary, they told us that tithing was not required. It's not. Here's a topic that goes with that I was going to talk about. When you give to God, no, they say when you give to the church, you give to God. Do you know that when you pay your taxes, and for y'all that are new, I was in a church for over 25 years, seminary student, ex-first lady, pastor's wife, user. I done already told you that I'm against Christ, anti-Christ. I'm the antichrist right now. Freedom. Thank you for being new. And I'm very sarcastic. But when you pay your taxes, you're giving your money to the government. When you pay your tithes and offering, they're making coffee right now. It'll stop in a second. When you pay your tithes and your offering to the church, you're also giving to the government. Fun facts. Fun facts. When you pay your taxes, you're giving to the government. When you pay your tithes and offering, you're also giving to the government. How are you giving to God when you bring that money? Because, how so? Because that money is going into banks, white banks. It's going into banks. It's not going to God. They're going to put it in a bank. Who runs the banks? Uh-huh. I used to pastor. Thank you, Bob. I used to pastor with my husband. He was the pastor. I was the first lady. It's not going to God. How? How is the money that I just gave? I gave $100. How is that going to God? I was the same as you. I started following the church in Jesus. Oh, okay. Oh, now I get what you're saying. I thought you were asking. You were saying, okay, thanks. You're going to leave because you're a Christian. Okay, boom. User, why don't you leave? I don't have my witch hat. I don't have my witch hat today because I usually pop y'all up out of here. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. How? Explain how your money is going to God. Is it like changing ethically? Like, is it going out there and it's being converted? Like they convert the American dollar into pesos and stuff like that? Jesus got his own bank? Okay, sweet. Thank you, Freedom. This is how our churches aid in gentrification of our black neighborhoods. Jesus currency? How? How does he get that? So you can be forgiven. You forgot that you made a statement. What are you doing? User, what are you doing over here on this page? I'm gonna block you. Nomadic, you can block him.
Oh, that got him.
Nomadic got him. Got him. It's simple. How long have you been out? Money goes to some man's idea what God's work is. Come on, thank you, Brian. I was getting there. Brian, that's what I'm saying. The money goes to some man's idea of what God's work is. So, for example, let's say Brian comes to us and he says that God told me to start a church. And then he starts, a church in his home. They start collecting money. Then they go to the hotel or the barbershop like me and my ex-husband did. And then get enough money to get a storefront. He's doing all that because he said that God told him to do that. We don't know. He's saying that an invisible being said, God called me to start a church. And people, we just believed it. And then we started giving our money because he said it. We didn't hear God say that. And so what we're literally doing is giving into a man's idea of what he believes God said for him. That's all we're doing. It's his business, it's his vision, and we're giving into it. Our community is hanging on by a thread. Which community? The church? El Face the Scholar? Which community? Church is a corporation. Selling or buying is a corporation.
Yeah.
And that's all tied to the government. I know that's right. Cars, planes, of other creatures, not to mention the money given for the side piece.
I'm gonna go up there and tell you thing that cheese and Jesus paid it all.
Right. And you're not going to pay for anything.
He paid for everything in this.
Been attending the same church since 1999, and pastor said in service, you're not a member unless you tithe. And that makes sense. Just like you go to a gym and you become a member, you have to pay a fee. But that's to be a part of a church. But if you want to believe in God, you can do that for free. Pastor pulls up in a Mercedes and he works for a college. We know where the tithes go.
Right.
Yet the biggest givers really don't have the money. That's all I'm saying. Stop listening to those lies when they say, "Oh, you're giving to God." I'm well, thank you. So that's what I'm all about. Empty the pews, empty their pockets. It's very simple. Take your time, your money, and your resources out of these churches and invest it in yourself. If you still have debt, you shouldn't be giving to a church. If you don't have money stacked up to where if some kind of tragedy happens, that you can take care of yourself, you can fly out of here, you can do those things. If you're going to be worried, if something happens, an emergency, you shouldn't be giving to the church. If you can't fund a family for 2 to 3 days, if something terrible happens to them and they need a place to stay, if you can't put them up in a hotel, and here's the thing, if you can't do those things, let's work on it. That's all I'm saying, is let's work on it and work on being able to do that. And if you are in the church, that's specifically what I'm talking about, you have no business giving to a Mercedes car note. You have no business funding the mansion of a pastor. If you are dealing with sickness and disease and you can't afford to go get the help, to get the herbs, or see who you need to see, but you're still giving to a church, and I stop. And I also talked about how at the end of the summer, when I was a teacher, the kids would be so upset and so distraught about having to end the school year because they knew they weren't going to eat those 2 meals a day. Where's the church at? Why to this day? Because I still talk to teachers. Why to this day kids are still in that situation? But they got to wait till they get a back to school backpack in August. Well, we giving away backpacks. Okay, what about when they're released from school? Sometimes these are the only 2 meals that these kids get in school. Where the church at? We still dealing with that in 2026. What pastors that are doing it right? What pastors are you asking me? What pastors are doing it right? I don't. Let me tell you something. My husband said none. There's a twofold. There's a twofold when it comes to pastors. When people say, "Well, my pastor, we do give to the community. We do have summer camps. We do feed them," right? Pneumatic agreed. I'm a pastor. Okay, you want to come up? Dang it, my phone finna die. I might need to switch over there. I don't have no plug. Oh, I can plug it into my computer. But then I'm gonna take the mic off and it may be too loud. Pastor, you want to come up in the box? I'm allowing pastors to come up only. Only pastors. It's a new season. No Christians, because y'all vex our spirit. You need to come up? Okay, boom. Let me switch my I don't know how this sound gonna be. I'm in a Indian restaurant, so you might hear some la 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 coffee shop, but I need to charge my my laptop. It's like we got to go into overtime. We usually be done at 1. But here's the thing. Even if a church is doing what you consider the right thing, it's still teaching from a book of lies. Even if they're giving to every single need, they're still teaching from the colonizer's book. Okay, so H Town Pastor, yeah, it's rough over there. Now here's the thing, I'll bring you up, but we're not going to debate about what I believe, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to come up, I'll try. Yes, trust my device, it's my computer. Yes, trust this computer. I'm charging for my computer, bro. Hold up. Okay, boom, here we go. Where'd you go, Pastor? And first of all, you say I'm a pastor. I'm gonna invite you. But why you just can't say your name? Why do you have to say that you're a pastor? That's gonna be my first question. I'm gonna have to take this off. Let's see. I'm gonna be able to hear you if everybody gonna be able to hear. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, boom. I'm doing well.
Understand?
Go ahead.
Oh, I just got the question because online, all I hear is negativity about the church, but so, rebuttal to that.
Okay.
Everybody's church hurt, and I've been church hurt, but I do it because God asked me to do this work. I've been a pastor over 25 years in Germany, in the military, going to church, and God asked me this question. I want you to go into the ministry. And I said, I don't want nothing to do with the church. I'm serving you, but I'm good because I don't even like people like that. But God, he said, I know what you're saying. I don't think the hypocrites, but this is what God told me. He said, how about you be the change you want to see, the world needs to see? The example of Jesus Christ. And that's what I do. I take care of our members. I help our single mothers start businesses. I have encouraged people in my ministry to listen to God, obey God's word, and He'll prosper them. And they prosper. And He said, don't give up trust before the so you're in a church, you're not flourishing, you want to continue to flourish, you can talk to the pastor, you can pray for the pastor, but then you can pray about leaving that ministry. Listen, if you don't like the service at a restaurant, why go back?
So here's the thing about the positive side of the church. Um, if a church is giving to single parents, they have programs for the summer, and you're doing all these community activities. Good people do that. You don't have to be a church or a pastor to do it. The second thing is you're still preaching out of a book that was created by our colonizers to hurt us and to enslave us. You're also preaching out of a book of lies.
Well, the Bible says the truth will set you free. So I totally get what you're saying, but as people ask, why do you pay your tithes? Why do you give offerings? Why do you go to church?
Just ignore what I
My
said.
response to them is this: if it's working for me and I enjoy doing it, why shouldn't I?
If you're in debt, you shouldn't be. If you don't have enough money to fund, I'm talking about church members. I'm talking who's in 99% of church folk.
I teach them how to prosper and they can thrive. Young businesses, they're getting promoted, they speak for the ministry.
Right.
We all treat the same. If your pastor is true from God, that's it's just for the pastor, it's for everybody who sits under
Can I get your first name? 'Cause I want to address you by your first name. Prometheus. So here's the thing though. What you're teaching people about prospering, anybody can do that. You don't have to be a pastor to do that. People don't have to sit up under you and pay money. They might as well go pay somebody to teach them financial literacy. You're still saying things that and I'll have to tell you this, not everybody is church hurt. You said everybody's church hurt. That's not true. I went to seminary, woke up, and that's how I left. But what you're saying is you're still not saying anything that stands out to make people want to honor and pay a pastor. Like, where's the raising of the dead? Are you going? You talk about they prosper. Why are you going to hospitals and clearing out cancer centers? Where's the power of Jesus?
Okay, so I want you to realize every ministry has a purpose.
Oh my God.
Every church has a call. It's the body of Christ. It doesn't do what the feet does on the fingers. And it's because many people do not recognize God. They just refuse to be active.
I'll say this one thing and then nomadic you can go. But Jesus Christ is the healer and he's the one with the power. He lives in every Christian. So every single Christian should be able to do that. And what you're doing is made up because that's not in the Bible. It said that greater works you shall do. It never said deliverance ministry. That's something that man created. Go ahead, nomadic. was going to be my one too.
Now, Jesus, I consider myself a Christian. Did Christ have an easy road to heaven?
Where was that during slavery? That's the only thing I want to answer.
Okay, let's have an honest conversation. A lot of people are struggling with the line. We have to look at true history. My family bloodline, all the way back to the 1800s, when they came to Africa to Louisiana, there was a shift from African names to Christian names. Now, my family bloodline, my great-great-grandmother, and my family is still prospering from that with godly relationship. So I don't know the slavery road, but when you meet Christ, your life will dramatically change. And I really doubt if some people have a true relationship with God. They have a relationship with the pastor, they have a relationship with the members, they have a relationship with the church. But Jesus said, "Come unto me, all who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest."
Let's address the let's address the and then the medic can go. Let's address the ones you said. Every ministry has a different purpose. So why aren't those ministries, why aren't we hearing about cancers being removed on a grand scale? Because if prayer worked, we would not need to pray. Just listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. If prayer worked, there would be no need to pray because Nomadic could take on the missing kids. J Music over here, he could take care of all the cancers. Let's pray, ask God, boom, answered prayers. No need to pray.
So let me say this. In our culture today, there's a lot of cancer, there's a lot of mental illness, but my grandparents' culture, they didn't go out to eat. They cooked at home, they got exercise, they went to church, they went on vacation, but it tells us any nation that forgets God begin to turn into hell itself. So when we neglect God, neglect His word, and many Christians are overweight. They're not taking care of their bodies, they're not taking care of their minds. And when we depart from the holy scriptures, He said that nation will crumble.
But what about people that are doing right by themselves? What about people that are not and they just happen to get a sickness or a disease and there are healthy people that get sick and get diseases that do right by their body. And then Nomadic, you can go.
Okay, I'm sorry, Prometheus. So first of all, let me explain this to you. I am 13th generation Muskogee Creek Indian. There are no slaves in my bloodline. And if you really want to talk about the lack of knowledge, and you knew that the majority of people that identify in America as Black Americans are indigenous to this land. But that's a conversation for another time. You have quoted all the Bible scriptures to me, all that, and that sounds great. But I asked you, where was the salvation that you all hang your hats and your heads and your wigs on that was supposed to save back then and save now? See, because I'm not done. I'm not done. No, it has not. It transferred from the field into the corporate office. It has not ended.
For one, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And you give your life to Christ, witch.
She is a witch. I'm a witch too, though. We're both witches, sir. And here's the crazy thing. I'm usually at home, and I usually have a witch hat. So that's not saying anything to us, sir. And here's the thing. Here's what happened, Nomadic. Can y'all still hear me? Nomadic, can you hear me? Okay, listen, because she's challenging you and you can't answer her questions, you have to go on the attack. You got to go on attack.
And also, Prometheus, to your rebuke, I say this. I rebuke you with Psalms 109. May your lands be dry. May your children be fatherless. May your wife be husbandless. May you never
Prometheus
flower on the grounds where you reside.
We got vampires in here too, sir. That's what I'm saying. This is a deconstruction community. Oh, he left. You rebuked. Did you block him?
I rebuked him and banished him to the basement. See, I knew it was coming. That's why I came up. I try not to pop up, you know what I'm saying? Because it's important. You were doing an amazing job. You had one question to answer. I want to know, where is white baby Jesus in the midst of all of this?
He went all over the
I
world.
love scriptures. And see, I can use the scriptures too, because when I go,
Hold on.
because I've been to, and if you come back on here, I've been to your page, I got your picture, and I'm putting it on my altar.
Okay.
So we can go rebuke for rebuke all night.
Okay, so don't block him yet. He said I was dropped. He said bring me back up.
Tell white Jesus to bring you up.
What y'all think? Y'all want me to bring him back up? Y'all let me know. This is our page. Oh shoot, now we got 3. Ooh, we got some people that want to come up now. Y'all let me know. If y'all want me to come up, I can let them up. Because it looks like a lot of people want to address them. No, somebody said no. Somebody said yes. Our community just teared up. I would love to talk to him and get in on this conversation. Go ahead, Galen, and then Devontae.
So I just wanted to, because if he's still in the comments, he can answer, because I just wanted to know, I'm like, because I said earlier, a lot of black pastors, I know you went to seminary, but a lot of black pastors just say, I had to call. They was called, but they never actually went to seminary. And I know for a lot of people, going to seminary is what turned them off from Christianity, because they learned the actual biblical history.
Me too.
How the Bible was written and came about. And it's like, did you go to seminary, sir? Do you know actual biblical history? I mean, real written history. And continue to quote from this colonizer's book on how to be a good slave.
Yeah, he says he went to seminary, Galen.
Okay.
I did too, and it woke me up.
He said witch like a cuss word. It sounded so damn hateful.
Right.
You might as well just call her a bitch,
Okay, right. And that's the thing, is but why did you attack her in such a way when she's just sharing where she's coming from? And let's say she was an evil, demonic person. How is that going to bring her in? LaFace, I was trying to invite you, but I don't see a button to invite you, LaFace, the scholar. I don't understand that.
Well, I guess my pastor is also, when they can't answer your questions and they can't give an explanation, they get emotional and they have outbursts.
Right.
No, I'm sorry, I can't answer that. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'll get back to you.
Right.
That's all you have to say.
Right.
And then the caucasity behind the rebuke, right? I am a testament. I have manifested my best life outside of organized religion and Christianity. My best life. I have all but cured myself from lupus and lived my best life outside of organized religion and Christianity. 6 figures. 6 figures that I don't have to share with a pastor.
Come on.
I can hop on the plane without your permission.
Right.
So stop it. Go somewhere and regulate your emotions, and then come back and let's have an adult conversation.
Exactly. Devontae, go ahead, baby. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's Devontae.
Devontae. Okay, go ahead, sweetie.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you for the Queen. And it's like, when you're talking to a lot of, I'm not gonna say all of them, but a lot of Christians, you're not gonna get a real answer from them, because a lot of them, they're not logical, and it's just like, for me, I just found like it is what it is at this point. I don't even try to have a logical conversation or even expect to.
Right.
With them, because they do get defensive.
They do.
Because for them, it's just like, my God, my God. But when you're asking them a real direct question, it's like they go blank.
Right. Pastor, are you still here in the comments? Do you want to come up and apologize to my sis? Photography, CLA, what do you got for us today?
You know what? I've been looking for this TikTok page since I was born. Just to let you know. I've been in church all my life. And my 50 plus years being on the pulpit, being an bearer to a pastor, and following these men around. But the awakening came in when I started realizing who I was. When he said the kingdom was within me, when I started reading from there, all of a sudden I come to find out I look for the God in me, and come to find out I am the God.
Come on.
I create my circumstances.
Period.
I create everything I do. And I meditate more than just do these prayers that they do in the church. So I wanted to get up and talk to him one-on-one as a man, because we are kings and we're guys. We weren't meant to be followers. There's a book called How to Grow a Christian Enigma.
I got that one.
When I read that book, I was like, oh my gosh, we've been doing this all wrong. This is the reason why the black community is way behind in their finances. The church grosses over $150 billion a year in tithes and offering, and none of it goes back to the black community. And I'm like blown away how a grown man like that does not know who he is and never talk to his ancestors or look for his ancestors in every way he walks in his life. So I applaud you for this deconstruction, because I've been deconstruction now, and I've met with Les Brown. I've met with people like talk to Zig Ziglar and most public speakers, and they all say the same thing. The kingdom is within us. We're the guys. We create where we want to go. In my direction of life, I'm a lot better off down than being in church.
Right. Same here.
Financially and mentally.
Same here. And so the book was, the one that I have is How to Make a Negro Christian. I heard you say how to make a Negro Christian. That's the name of the book. And Nomadic on here, that's in the box. She has on 12 Thursday, just put it in the time, put the time today. Days in the chat where she talks about ancestral veneration. So collabs, go for it. How to make a new.
I am so excited about this because it's just time. It's time. I'm so tired of hearing about Jesus this and Jesus that. When in 1564, the letter J just came into existence in 1564. And you're calling Jesus this. You're reading a Bible that somebody told you that you had to read.
Right.
You're reading a book that somebody passed along to you and said, you must follow the rules in this book in order for you to get eternity and for you to get heaven, and you won't go to hell. And this is the thing about this whole situation, that if you really do your research, I always say Google is free, reading is fundamental. Do your research, do the truth. Get the truth, real about it.
Yes.
If you are still saying Jesus in this year of our Lord 2026, something is wrong with you, and that's the reason why you can't progress. Once you get out of that Christianity and get into what the truth really is, then you'll see the progress. I saw progress once I let it go. When I let all of it go, that's when financially I progress. That's when I progress within myself. The minute when an elder told me that self-love meant selfishness, I had to leave. When they said I was being selfish to show myself love, to see my self-worth, to see who I am in this world, to see my purpose and understand my purpose, because when you know your purpose, that helps you progress financially, emotionally, mentally.
Preaching.
When I saw that for myself, and let me tell you something, I believe in the Most High, but I don't believe that I need anybody to come in between me and the Most High in order for me to have a relationship with the Most High. In other words, you do not have to read me any scriptures. You don't have to tell me anything for me to have a relationship with the person with who I consider the Most High. I don't need a relationship with anybody.
Thank you.
I don't need a preacher. I don't need a priest. I don't need somebody praying over me. I don't know what you're doing. Most of y'all be sitting up there messing around with other women, having other situations, sitting up here with little babies and children and all this other kind of stuff. If you think I need somebody like you to pray for me for my forgiveness, well, you need to be getting forgiven for what the stuff that you're doing.
Antoine, I'm telling you, I'm not at home, so I ain't got my money with me. I usually have money from my guest speakers when they talk, you know what I'm saying? For
y'all
sure.
Better come on and bless the prophet. Y'all bless the prophet to the point where it gets just asinine that you sit here on a daily basis listening to these people lie to you and ask for your money, and you seriously sit up here and give you your money, and they sit up there flying from one church to the next, and you can't figure out what you're gonna feed, what you're gonna eat from 1 minute to the next.
Come on.
Can I add to that?
Yes, sir.
I asked the pastor not too long ago to close his eyes for 1 second.
Okay, don't touch it. Don't
I
touch
asked
it.
him,
Don't
while
touch
his
it.
eyes was closed, what does
It's a
God
book.
look like?
It's a
I told
sale.
him, don't lie about it. So I said, what's the first image came to you?
Okay.
Here, weird. I said, and actually, I don't call him God, I call him the creator of the universe, creator of life. Because that was not his name. That's something that they gave him. And that's what something that
See that
we
napkin?
as black people have to get away from
Napkin.
worship. I just want to end on that. You have no idea what Prometheus is. We have to get away from this and get back to our roots of who we originally came from. Because being called witches in Africa was a great thing. Here, it's evil here. They got us bad in this. Ladies kitchen. I'm listening. Trust me, I'm listening. Thanks.
Thank you.
And I'm not a witch, I'm benevolent. Look up the word. See, the thing about it, if we don't look up the etymology of these words that we're saying, words are spells. And that Bible you read is a huge spell book. You're the witches. I use the word witch to trigger him.
Yeah.
I am that I am. I don't need a title.
Thank you.
Exactly. But what I also wanted to say to you, I was talking about books. There's one out there called 3 Magic Words. Now, it's been out of print for about 30 years, but if you can get your hands on one through thriftbooks.com or aidbooks.com, that is definitely worth the read for us, especially now.
Okay, so Prometheus is still here. Sir, photography, you said you wanted to talk to him. I hadn't seen you typing Prometheus, so I didn't know if you were still here. He said he wanted to address you one-on-one. And Prometheus, just so you know, this is also my book. It's called Empty the Pews, Empty Their Pockets. It's a bestseller. And I talk about everything in here, so I'm not sure why you thought that what you thought this page was about. It's literally, and I talk about you. Prometheus, you're featured in this book. I talk about pastors in the whole 9 yards. And that's what J Artist, he was in there saying that he's reading it right now. We're emptying the pews. He said yes, EP. He has the book. We're emptying the pews and emptying your pockets, because everything you said that y'all do, any man can do that. You don't have to be called by God to teach people financial literacy. You don't have to be called by God to help people, help single mothers. We can get on here right now. If there's a single mother that needs some help, we can do that. We don't need this deception that because you're a pastor or to put God on it to make it seem like now we have to listen to you. Now there's some special power on you. It doesn't work that way. Everything that you're doing, anybody can and should be able to do. And we do it. We don't need to follow somebody to do that. She's Arts Bryant. She said, I'm a single mother. Help me. So, Pastor, you said I'm a retired veteran. I have wealth. Okay, H-Town Inspired. Arts Bryant. Everybody drop your handles. He has wealth. Drop your cash apps and tell him your story. Message him. He has wealth. And if you honestly need help, that's what we want to see. Because you Christians are quick to send us a hell, but you can't send a Zelle when somebody needs some help. She's a single mother. You said you help single mothers? Get on in there. Y'all switch, go message him. Arts Bryant, message him. So what? That is not the message of Yeshua or a job. Yeah. Help her. They can't send a job. And that's the thing. Y'all are always preaching knowledge that we already know, or just send prayers. We don't want prayers. Help. Let's see. And so here's the thing. Since y'all cannot raise the dead and y'all can't cure cancer and clear out these hospitals, then send some money. Send some money to people. Everybody always can use money. Even if you got it, you can use it. They help you in secret. They always want to announce it. There was a first lady's daughter in my comments going off, talking stupid. And I said, okay, help somebody. All I can do is give food. That's sad then. And I'm not saying if that's all you can do, people here. I'm talking about somebody that's a Christian. All you can do is give food. My husband said the food bank gives food. No, another lady said that. My husband said when your pastor asks for money and asks for a sacrificial offering and tithes, you don't say all I can give is food. You give. So we don't want to hear about your scriptures. Nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. And they know that you care when you can give. So I think you're still here. You're still lingering, Prometheus. What does Prometheus mean?
It was a
What does it really mean?
What does it really
it
mean?
was a Greek titan
To
that
mankind and enlightened us, supposedly. So, like, if that's your, come on, man, if that's your real government name, you Prometheus, and you a pastor, and Prometheus was a Greek god. So here
that
we go
defied
again,
Zeus.
not understanding what you're calling yourself.
Yeah, he was understand. This is what
Mixing two
his
theologies.
punishment was. He was
So you
nailed
are
to a
enlightened.
mountain, and an eagle
Enlighten
was
us.
eating his
Like the
regenerating liver.
sacrificial
That was his
offerings.
punishment.
Like
He said it's his father's name.
his
Galen.
father's name.
Galen, yeah, he said it's his father's name.
Do you still again? You threw that. You first. You came on here telling us you were a pastor. You didn't announce your name first. You announced your title first.
There you
It's
go.
not your name. Now we know your name, but when Christians tie themselves up real big in their names. My pastor's name is Keith, and apparently that meant the strong one or something. Something. Prometheus means something. Like that's why he's so tied up in Jesus. That's why he's so tied up with Jesus, because Jesus is nothing but Zeus.
But
Hey,
here's
Zeus.
right.
Zeus.
Yeah, she did.
Let's get down to the etymology of things. Understand what you are reading when you are reading the words that are coming to you. Reading is fundamental. That's what they want us not to read. They want us not to research. That's what they want us to do. Take out the time to literally read and research and understand what you're reading before you fly out the mouth with stuff that was never meant for us. Just like she said earlier, it was meant for us to be enslaved.
And here's the thing. You said Prometheus, you said she asked about your name. I'm asking you to help somebody. You said that you have wealth. Oh, so many assumptions. Okay. But I'm asking you, in another, frequency, I'm asking you, what can you do today? Look, I just dropped my Cash App. What can you give to me? How can you help me? I help people. There's a organization in Beasley, Texas. Send me some money so that I can help them. And what he does is he helps people. Help Ada. She's having to move and transition to help family members. There was another lady. You say you have wealth. We would hear you quicker when we see some works. Y'all can't heal. You can't raise the dead.
No,
Right.
He's too busy. He's too busy giving the rebuke. And it's weird if I had been a smurderer or a sex assaulter or had done something. I merely stood 10 toes down like he did, and I get the rebuke.
Hold
And
on.
even if I was trying to come back to Christianity, that attitude, that nasty disposition is not going to lead me back to Jesus.
Right. And it won't. And so Nola says, I need a car to get regular medical care. Can you help me? And this is what he says. He says, send a business plan. Jesus didn't say that. When the woman was at the well, when the woman with the issue of blood, he didn't say, send me a report of how long you've had this. He told her. He told them. That's the thing. Prometheus, you full of bullshit. You full of bullshit. You really are.
This story, and I'm gonna hop out for just a second. I'll tell you what. For the young lady that needs the car, for every $1 Prometheus donates, I'll match times 5. And we'll wait for your response. You don't have to argue with me about where my witch money comes from, if I'm on the pole or whatever. For every $1 you give this young lady for her car, I will give her 5. And I'm not going to question her, baby girl. You don't need no application. I don't need no verification. As long as Dorothy can put her hands on you, maybe go with you to pick your car or whatever, that's just all I need. See, I'm not going to question your background because I know who I am.
Well,
I stand in truth and honesty. For every $1 he sends, I'll send 5. And no cap. So if you want to go
give a
down
dollar.
baby boy, we can do that too.
it's bullshit. You want to
I'm a
auger.
heavyweight.
Yeah,
I'm a heavyweight.
works matter. You want to auger about knowledge. It's spiritual immaturity. When you should be in here showing love, no matter what we believe, what we say. You have already disqualified yourself. It's quiet.
The minute he called her a witch, disqualified.
Disqualified. Right there.
You went to calling names instead of finding solutions.
Come on.
You went to calling names. If you want me to come back
Like
into
that.
Christianity, which I will never do.
Never.
But if you wanted me to come back in Christianity, that is not the way to show me how to come back, because I will never come back to somebody calling me a witch.
Okay, here's what he says, Collabs. He says, well, she says she's a witch, but why rebuke? It's okay if she says I'm a witch, just say, okay, what is rebuking her? You have no authority. You have no authority to rebuke her. Okay, you rebuke her. She's still here. She's still talking. That shows right there that you still have no power. You just disqualified yourself amongst all these people. Nobody respects you as a pastor. Nobody even respects you hardly as a man. That's why that other man said he wants to come up and talk to you man to man. And you're still going. And somebody also said you're bragging about wealth. Just do it. I didn't drop you. Nomadic did. She's one of my mods, and she got a finger on her that'll just get you on out of here quick. I didn't drop you. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, sir, you announced yourself as a pastor. She announced herself as a witch. Now, mind you, we got thousands of different religions on this earth. You as a Christian pastor can go to another country to where these people don't worship your God. They don't know nothing about your God. They worship who they worship. When you come into their country saying that you're a pastor, you are a warlock and a witch to them. Okay? So these are two different opposing sides and opinions. She is a witch. You are a pastor. Like, somebody is a Democrat, somebody else is a Republican. Two different things, okay? But you don't get to use witch as a slur against her. I rebuke you, witch. So what you gonna do? Go and rebuke the imam at a mosque? Are you gonna go and I rebuke you, punk? Are you gonna do that too? Or are you gonna be respectful of the fact that they have a completely different belief system than you? Those are different titles. You use that as a way to fling your hatred at her out of fear because you knew you couldn't answer her question.
Right. And see, Galen, and here, no, you're good. And see, here's the thing. I think it's Black Bonnie or Black Ebony. I'm not sure. It's not a waste of time. That's what this page is about: is confronting, addressing, and it gives people a voice. These are people that are talking to pastors. Back in the day, we weren't allowed to talk to pastors like that. Back in the day, we had to honor them in a way that was, dehumanizing us and putting them on a platform. So here on this page, there is no specific topic. We start somewhere and we go wherever. So that's just how it is here. And if people feel like they want to address these pastors and question them, we know they're not going to change, but it gives people a voice. And it lets everybody know, hey, I can talk to you any kind of way that I want to because you're just a man. He's just a man. He gets no authority here. He gets nothing. And he still hasn't sent a cash app.
He still didn't answer all the questions.
And no, he didn't answer the questions because we asked him, where's the power? We asked him so many questions that he did not answer.
Do what normal pastors do.
That's why I wanted him to come back up here so he can answer the questions, because since he is knowing and know everything and know all, can he come up here so he can answer the questions? Because I'm trying to get an understanding.
I'll invite him back up, but here's the thing. You follow me. Why are you? If I say that I'm a witch too, whether I'm being sarcastic or real, Prometheus, why do you follow me? I just looked and saw that you follow me. Light should have no dwellings with darkness. Why are you here?
Well, Jesus, he ate with the sinners and the publicans.
But you're not Jesus. You're nowhere near Jesus. You can't heal the sick. You can't raise the dead. No, he said greater works, and you have done no works. You haven't even sent a cash app, brother.
Okay, aren't you judging me?
Yes, I'm judging you. Yes, I'm judging you. I'm judging you with all of my heart and soul.
I'm gonna tell you one miracle for God. Boy sent home from the hospital. The doctors did all they could for them. The lady's friend asked me to come by, and forgot the issue the child had. But we went in the house, and the devil told me, don't go in there, because whatever that child had,
Ooh, Lord, the devil?
you're going to bring it back to your child. And I walked in the house, the lady gave me a surgical mask. I didn't wear a surgical mask because that wouldn't increase their faith.
Okay, but that's past. We're talking about right now. Increase our faith today. Somebody just said that they need help. We don't, and that, you know what? Did you ask them for a business plan? Did you ask them for anything? No, you just went in there. First of all, you're talking about the devil talking to you. We want to know, can you, you're bragging about wealth, lip service. Who can you help today?
So, yeah, I'm saying I can only speak to my church. Now, I'm gonna let you.
So why are you here? So why are you here then?
Don't assume me. Don't assume that I'm like every other.
I don't care about you being under. I don't care about that.
Tell me what I did.
We don't care. We don't care though. We don't care. What we're saying is, what can you do today? And if you only talking to, you can only help your church. Why the hell are you here, getting embarrassed and dragged?
The goalpost keeps changing. The reason why they can't answer these questions as to why we don't see miracles on the same scale we saw in the Bible is because God moves differently today than he did back then. No, he opened up an entire sea. He grew back. He made people who couldn't walk again. People who were born blind gained their sight. No. The goalpost keeps changing because you don't have an answer. You're not in line the way that Jesus was. Just admit that.
She's talking, Prometheus. She's talking. She's talking, Prometheus. She's speaking.
Just say what's going on, okay?
And Black, you can go next.
When my grandparents grew up during segregation, and it was a lot of financial hardships, they leaned more heavily on Jesus Christ because they had no options. But now we live in a modern age, a welfare society, entitlement, to where people turn to credit cards, they turn to doctors, and they don't turn to Christ. So that's therefore, because they don't come to Christ, they do not see the miracles.
So that makes the Bible irrelevant.
The issue of blood went to doctors for 12 years. She had that issue for 12 years and saw many physicians. The times hasn't changed that much because they had physicians. She went to doctors just like we go to doctors today, and they couldn't help her. So,
can we get verification these stories actually existed?
Yeah, you go ahead next. Go next, baby. Go Black. What were we gonna say?
Okay, so
Can we get proof of these actual stories existed?
okay,
We're talking about
this situation. Nobody has the time to see it, but the proof is what's taking place in our lifetime. My son, 33, when he was born, my wife was able to live over 24 hours. They say he's gonna be blind, he's gonna have disability, but we prayed and God healed it. My wife didn't want to take a blood transfusion because the blood is tainted, and God healed it. So I'm just talking from my life experience. God is moving, and
we all have those testimonies. We all have testimonies.
So there's reason.
was she in a hospital? Did she give birth in a hospital?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, but Prometheus, I've healed myself though. Prometheus, I've healed myself outside of church though.
Okay, so but you went to seminary and you were given a certain amount of knowledge.
What they got to do with anything?
See, this is the issue with anything. It does.
Absolutely.
No, it does.
No, okay. So let me tell you, the majority of your grandparents and great-grandparents, they went to church. And they passed down
And they were colonized by the Negro.
Exactly, and that's the reason why we haven't.
That's what the problem is. That's where it lies.
We're the curse breakers. We are breaking the curse that has been put on us. We are breaking.
Well, great. That's wonderful. I'm glad. But why don't we live in the present and why we live in the past?
We are living in the present.
We just keep dragging us back to the past. You keep telling us about your miracles from 20, and you sound like you're about 70.
Okay,
You heal last week.
the reason why we're
Okay, there was a lady in our church.
what about here on this? Okay, here's the thing, because then we're gonna listen, Prometheus. Yeah, but did he heal her in that moment, or did her body naturally heal itself over time? Did she get up? Oh shit! You got to go. Just ask me to turn it down.
Do you tithe at your church?
I'm not a member because I don't tithe.
Do you tithe at your church?
Let me tell you this. 3 times.
Do you tithe at your church?
Listen to what I'm part of an organization. The tithe goes to the storehouse. I tithe to my organization. I tithe my personal income. I tithe my church income that comes through offering. I tithe on my pastoral income. I tithe to
Okay, so let's go back to the Bible that you read.
Yes,
so
that's it. That's much better.
Let's go back to the Bible. The Bible never said that when you're tithing, you have to give monetary gifts. The Bible says when you are tithing, you help the ones that are in the community, which means with food, with health care, with things of that nature, not with monetary gifts to make somebody else rich.
No, you can't help us, baby. You can't help us. No, just tell us your thoughts.
In the Bible, Jesus was in a service and he seen them giving in the synagogue.
And he also went into the church and tore it up. That was the only time in the Bible they were talking about Jesus got made. It's when he flipped the table.
Yeah.
He flipped the table. What they said.
That's what true Christianity is. Now you're telling people to
He don't want to say nothing. I'm waiting for you.
But you're taking people's money. Instead, why don't you all have something where you are bartering, a bartering system?
I'm
Somebody
gonna
is
ask him
over
in a second.
agriculture. Somebody does daycare. Somebody is
Get
a
on
nurse
there.
that can help
Okay, that's fine.
with
I'll pull you up.
illnesses. Instead of tithing monetarily, why can't you help with what the services and the skills that people have that's in your organization?
ask the question.
J Artist, you can go next if you need.
There's people who will give. There's people who come to my church and they pay the Christian rules. I don't demand them to give cash. I just preach the gospel.
My time.
Now listen to this. Now, where I live, this is 100 churches all year long. So we have a church here.
Mute your, cut your,
But you don't have to, but you do not have to be together in a church. You can do that in your own house. You can do that in a park. You can do that in a park.
Okay.
It is free.
So we have,
You can meet at your home.
I have some elderly people who I would have to take them to the hospital because it's 100 degrees in Oklahoma. Is that fair to them? Or we just don't care anymore? Can we
What are you talking about?
Hospital. Why don't you have a ministry to go to the hospital?
Exactly.
I did that.
okay, I have a question.
I did in the hospital.
I have a question for the pastor. And then J Artist, if you have something, somebody needs to either mute. Somebody needs to mute. I can still hear echo, so just mute. Why does the church have a sick and shut in ministry? If I didn't say you because you're not the church. I said the church, the whole entire body of Christ. Why do they have a sick and shut in ministry if there is supposed to be power in the body of Christ? That's one. If there's supposed to be power, a church should not have a sick and shut in ministry, period. It should be, hey, we went to Sister Johnson's house. She got up out the bed immediately. There should be no such thing as that type of ministry. And when you talk about you don't help certain people unless they're part of your ministry, Jesus didn't walk around and say, are you part of Galilee Synagogue over there on the north side of Bethlehem? Are you a part of Bethlehem ministry? Okay, boom. He just healed people. So you have to understand that what you're saying is lies. It's lies. It is definitely true.
Okay, let me tell you what I do. We have missions in our city that help people get back on their feet and they feed them. I could not do all of that. I'm just one man. So I give money to 2 different missions in our city. They feed them. They take them through job training. Now, I want you to realize you all mess up bad pastor.
No, we did not. No, we didn't. See, here's the thing. No. Stop. In the chat, Prometheus, in the comments, you said a bunch of assumptions. Right now, you're assuming that we met a bunch of bad pastors. No, we woke the fuck up to what's really happening. It's not true. You have not answered every single question. Why, if you are Christians, we are not seeing greater works? As they said, there should be no handicapped parking spots. Y'all are nothing like Jesus. Now, before you answer, Jay, the artist, do you have anything that you want to share? You just want to be up here. And if you want to be up here, that's cool. Just chill. Okay, boom. Yes, we woke up, Pastor. You are assuming, but you're assuming that you started with y'all are all church hurt. No, we're not. We're not.
I would like to answer that.
Okay, Black.
If I may.
Go ahead, Black.
Because I was born and raised in the church pretty much like a lot of you probably have. And my experience has been reality. I'm not a person that is in denial. So I look by experiences, what I see, what my pastor has done in my childhood, pastors that have done that I have experienced now. And everything that I've seen there has been no positive experiences. And people that I have talked to
Because
have the
it's not
same
real.
experiences.
Because it's not
So I
real.
mean, there has to be a little bit of truth in what we're saying.
Yeah, because it's not real. If we would just take the power back to ourselves and work out our own time, money, resources instead of bringing it to a man for him to decide what's going to happen, we would be in a better position because there's nothing that separates you, Prometheus, from any other man. Jay, the artist right here, can do the exact same thing. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, because the first thing you said was, I'm a pastor. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm Prometheus, can I come up? You should.
Those titles are supposed to speak something.
Well, then why didn't you say my name is Prometheus? I'd like to come up.
I had experience in the ministry, and I wanted
A title.
to let
You
know
wanted to
how-
make your title known.
No, I don't
You
care
wanted
about
to make your
titles.
title known.
I don't care about titles.
Bro, I
tell
used
people call me reverend. I don't tell them call me pastor.
When people ask you your name, what do you say?
you pastor. What's your you?
Pastor had
See?
Exactly. So why do you feel like you need to give that title?
And see, here's the thing.
It's
My
not for what you believe that it means. Because people, I invite people out to church, and they're like, I don't want them to come to church like I deceived them. Oh, I didn't know you was a pastor. Why didn't you tell them? I'm just up front because I had nothing to hide.
Okay, Prometheus. I'm an ex pastor's wife. I'm an ex first lady. But see, I have a deconstruction platform. I don't open up and say, hi, I'm Dorian, an ex first lady, ex pastor, ex ordained, so that you can listen to what I'm saying. So, oh, she knows what she's talking about. I say, I'm Dorian Marie. We're here to deconstruct. In my power, my voice, my frequency, it says it all. What you should have done was, hey, I'm Prometheus. I'd like to come up, but you threw that pastor title out so that you could get us to try to think that you know what you're talking about. You talking about you have experience? I've been experienced too, over 25 years in the church.
You would have a dialogue. I didn't know you would bring up multiple people to try to stop what I'm saying. But I can have
It's
it.
TikTok. It's freaking TikTok.
You didn't have anybody in the panel. I'm the first one. And I don't not yes, this is the only reason I'm on social media. To help bring forth the truth in the midst.
Don't play the victim. The victim role is not going to work.
Who's playing the victim?
Okay, 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 Jay,
The therapist has something
Jay,
to
the
say.
artist.
Go right ahead.
Go, Jay, the artist.
So for the pastor, I just want to
Okay.
know,
You need one?
in
Well,
listening
go to
to
that wall
everything that
and then
was
move your
said
table over there.
so far, have you learned anything?
A deeper awareness of our culture. Now, I want you to realize, now I want everybody to realize, God called me to do this. I did not want to be a pastor. I do not like people on that level. He asked me to do this. Now, when I went to seminary, I seen hypocrisy. I seen the failures. When I went into the ministry, I've been betrayed worse by preachers and so-called brethren. Now you say, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Because God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. Jesus died for my sins. Now I want you may not believe this, but I believe I'm going to stand before God, and I want to hear these words, well done, thy good and faithful servant. I've given people jobs. I help people start jobs. I mentor people to flourish and prosper. I'm sorry you all have never experienced anything like
You're assuming. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. You're assuming again.
We have nothing to talk about.
Why you? We tried to tell you that a long time ago. Bye.
A long time ago. You're not listening.
So,
I always bring people up on my platform just because you're the first one. Prometheus, I always do. Bottom line is, this is a deconstruction community, and if you are a true pastor, you should have been in the community for the last hour, helping the community, not over here trying to convince people who don't care about what you're saying, who don't believe it. We don't even believe that God
Just
spoke
open
to
the
you.
Cash App, please.
Open the Cash App,
I don't
please.
even believe in your Jesus. I don't even worship your Jesus. I don't.
So then why? And there's nothing
Nomadic,
that
you're gonna
can do
close us
that
out.
makes me believe in your Jesus. There's nothing.
Right.
Before you go, this lady's put me the car. Before you go, this woman still needs a car to get to her medical appointments. $1 for every, well, for $1 you donate, I'll donate 5. We need to get our car. That's all I need.
Okay, so this is the problem with mankind.
Oh my God.
Jesus taught people how to be successful.
Nomadic, you ready?
Let me tell you, this is a young lady who made a series of bad decisions,
Nomadic, whenever you're ready.
and so I knew.
All right.
Thank you, because I was tired. I told you no a long time ago, like 10 minutes ago. I wanted to hear what he had to say, but I got so tired. I was like, I'm so done.
Yes.
I listen, and when you brought him back, wait a minute, I disconnected him. I don't know if I blocked him, so I still got to.
You got to finish the assignment. Now leave him in the comments. Leave him in the
I
comments.
don't want your apology, right? I want your money. This young lady said
Me too.
she needs a car. You don't have to apologize to me because there's nothing under the sun that you can say to me that will offend me. I don't care what you think about me, sir. Like I said, you might be 30, but you sound 60.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Right. Very weird.
He
It's
ain't no 30. That man is not something on the TikTok page. I'm just saying that. It's super weird. And then again, you want to quote this, which you're really great at, but we're talking about today's miracles, not 6 months ago. Who did you heal yesterday?
right.
I just want to know the funds that they're giving him through tithing. Why can't he help the young lady get the car with that tithing fund money?
Mm-hmm. And we have another pastor on here. This is John.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's not a member. John on here. He's
You can give $1 million in offerings, but if you don't do them tithes, you're not a member.
we should have had 2 pastors on there talking to each other. That's John. He's also been following my page. He's a pastor, like literally gets and preaches. Just had a pastor on here too. And the main thing is just he kept talking about I this, I've done this, I've done that, I've done that.
If you wanted to praise and the reverence.
Exactly.
Right.
You're supposed to be doing stuff out of your heart. You shouldn't be doing it for other people. You're supposed to do it for you and God.
But-
Exactly.
Right.
Supposedly, but everything kept saying, I do this, I do this, I do that.
That was a good follow-up question to say, okay, now what have you learned after all these interactions with us on here, men and the women? What have you learned?
We're witches.
Oh, an awareness of our people, but no help. But nobody got help today. And I will tell you this, there is a Pastor John, and I'm just going to say it just because we're talking about it. When I did mention a lady that needed help, he reached out and he helped. He helped. That was the only pastor. And I don't mind. That's what I'm saying. Here's the thing. It's not about dogging every single pastor. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, I'm not talking to you. But when I put out that this lady, and I verified that her rent needs to be paid, John G. Jones on here, he's a legit pastor that has a church, and he knows where I stand, but he still be on here listening to this stuff. He was the first person that sent money. So that's all you had to do. What's his name? Promethean. That's all. That's all you had to do, and we would have had a whole lot more respect for you as a pastor. And John never. And the same thing with him. He just said, "My name is John." Boom. If you're doing the right thing, nobody cares. We're not talking to you.
Right. We know the difference between a good pastor and a bad pastor.
Right.
Like, I can honestly say, after I left, I gotta correct that because I was kicked out
Mm-hmm.
of a
Right.
church cult.
But he said you was church hurt.
After I got kicked out, there is one pastor in particular, him and his wife are beautiful, very sweet, loving people. They do the best they can for the community, and they are not breathing down people's necks, trying to get them. If you gotta no, they're not like that. I know the difference between a good and a bad pastor because I
Right.
was up under a horrible person, a horrible pastor for
Right.
12 years. Like, we're not trying to be disrespectful or horrible to good people.
Right.
But, like, there are also people who need to know if you cannot answer questions, if you cannot receive what somebody is saying to you, leave it at that and just say, so you know what? I can't answer your question.
Right.
I can't give you what you're looking for.
Right.
I cannot help it this time, and I'm sorry that I can't.
Right.
And I would respect you more by doing that.
Okay.
I believe the issue is, and especially as men, I think we don't like looking like we don't know. We
Pride.
feel compelled to have all the answers. Don't know exactly where this training. Well, I guess it can come from a number of places, but like you said, I think there's more valor in just saying, "Hey, I don't know this at the moment, but I'll get back to you." But that would require us to be. I hate using this word; it's such a church word. Humble.
Yeah.
That would require us to be vulnerable and just own the fact that we just simply don't know. And sometimes that's okay to own, but I think we do ourselves a disservice by trying to act like we know everything.
Correct.
Okay.
And you know what, Jay?
I'm going to talk about
the
that.
thing about that is when you do get those questions, it gives you, if you don't know, then hey, now you can go and research. And then you might find out something that you didn't know that makes you question and make you think about, you know what? Let me look at this a little bit further. Let me look at this a little bit further. That's all,
I have this question here on Insta. Well, it's not a question, it's a statement that it's hard to differentiate between a good pastor and a bad pastor these days. I'll say I agree with that because even though you're doing good stuff, you're still preaching from that book. Hey, my good people, you muted.
That's what I need to. That's what I want to dig into.
Right. So I agree.
They're still teaching from the book.
They're still teaching from the book. That's the problem. And so you're still preaching certain, lies. You're preaching things that are not true, that you have to tithe. You have to, even though you could be doing all these works for the community, you're still teaching from a book where a God killed people murdered people. Oh, Lord Jesus. Y'all know what I'm talking. Took them out, so TikTok don't get me. Who still did those things.
You're still teaching from the King James Version, but you don't understand who King James was.
Right.
Come on,
right. And you're still
the
teaching
same
from.
King James that wrote demonology.
Correct. And so that's the problem. So it is, even though they say they're doing good.
And that's why they don't want questions.
Right. Yeah, this one didn't want no questions at all. Like, don't ask him nothing. I went to the hospital and laid hands on Sister Jackson. Okay, but she didn't get up and walk away out of the bed right then and there. He even came back and said, well, the doctors helped her. And I've said this. I said right now, let's say if Jay was a pastor and I saw him lay hands on a lady that don't have no legs, in that wheelchair, I'm going to be his armor bearer. I'm going to carry his Bible. I'm going to go knocking door to door, getting tithes on behalf of Jay the artist because I saw a miracle. And let's just admit. Right. And so to me, if those miracles are not happening, that's why I am more apt to not believe that it's true and that we just need to take care of our bodies. We just need to figure out what's going on with our bodies. We need to eat better, all the different things, but that it's just the natural human experience that we have. And we just got to figure out what's going on with our bodies instead of waiting and, sowing a $30 seed for a 30-day breakthrough.
Exactly.
When your body naturally can heal itself. Go ahead, Galen.
And towards the end there, because it sounded like he was getting ready to say, see, now that's the problem. People always, he was about to say something about us.
And I said, Nomadic, you ready?
It always works. Look, but the thing is, we as Black people, we need money.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
Black church has been forever in a struggle. We have been struggling since before slavery, and we still are at the bottom, struggling to get to the top.
Yep.
Because we're giving all our money to the church. We can't pay our rent, but we're giving half the money to the church.
They drive around in
We're
Bentleys
giving half our money to the church.
flying from one
We're
church to
clothes
the
on our dead
next.
body, but we're giving half the money to the church.
Mhm.
And the pastor pulls up in the Porsche.
Yeah, Jay.
3 and 4
But
and
if you
5
can't pay the AC or the HVAC bill, the
You
building
don't have nowhere to lay your
You
head.
always got to get donations for them to pay for the AC. or the
They are charged up.
But he got his transmission is running smoothly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jay, what was you about to say?
Your body, or you still ain't got money to cover your bill, that's because you ain't believing enough.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. All the time.
You don't have
Well,
any faith.
God healed you all. You didn't trust enough. You didn't have enough faith. Exactly.
You weren't obedient.
Jay, what was you going to say, baby?
No, I was gonna say.
Backslid. That's
Go
why
ahead.
it
Just
came
go ahead.
back on you because you backslid.
She is.
I I think Galen is making a great point about needing money, but I think, and this is just
Yeah.
a belief of mine, that even before money, because here's the thing, if you have money and you don't know how to use that tool, because that's all money is a tool, right?
Yeah.
So to have money without the knowledge of what to do with that money, without the wisdom of what to do with that money, then it's like there's no point in you having it. Exactly.
Okay, y'all. So Pastor John has decided to come up. Now, John, you know how I get over here. So if you're ready for it, go ahead, John. Go ahead, Jay. Huh? What y'all say?
I was going to finish this little statement.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, but even before the money, I think what you're doing, Dorian, is just so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Deconstructing our thoughts, because I think once our thoughts are deconstructed and we then gain the knowledge of how to live, we can then take those tools, such as money, and apply them in the manner in which they need to be applied.
Yes.
But that deconstruction and that relearning has to take place first.
Right. So it's not just deconstructing, we also have to reconstruct our life.
Absolutely.
Go for it, John.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
We're good.
You know, y'all got me cracking up, right?
Yes.
Got me rolling over here. I like to say this. When most people, when they read the Bible, they consider it to be factual and don't look at it from allegory, signs, and symbols. It has some valuable lessons and teachings in it, but so many of us who profess to be Christians actually take it literal. It is not literally. It is actually, in my education, it's allegories and symbols teaching valuable lessons for your life. Now, you got to figure out in this daily journey how to apply that, because your legs ain't gonna grow back because somebody came and prayed for your legs. You can go get some pathetic, they call those things for your legs.
Prosthetic.
You can go get that and it'll help you to walk. Okay, I do believe that there's a transfer of energy between people when they meet and when they pray. I believe that, but that alone is not going to help you do the things you need to do in life. There's so much more to that. And when people, oh, in the name of Jesus, you're healed. Man, take me to the doctor. That's what they're here for. Let them do what they do, and I'll take some. I do those things. Take me to the doctor. You know, and get that work in. So, and let me take care of my health and my strength. Get that blood pressure down, diabetes. Let me do that. You know, you can pray with me all day, but that ain't gonna do what I gotta do to go to the doctor. The transformation of energy is great, but if I gotta go see a doctor, I'm going.
Okay.
Plain and simple.
So,
that's me.
So John, I have a question, and then I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'll just say Bantu. You can go. So there's been some questions, even in the comments. How do you address being Mason? Because you told me last time that you were a Mason, and what did y'all call it? The sign, the Masonic sign, and then you being a pastor.
It ain't complicated.
And I also know that you can't talk about certain things, but go ahead.
Man, I talk about anything I want to. This is not complicated.
They're not supposed to talk about what they hold up. That's the number one rule. They're not supposed to talk about what they do in the closed room.
So let's see. Just talk. Go ahead, John.
Look, don't make it complicated. People are afraid of what they don't know.
Okay.
It's plain and simple. So with that being said, you know, walk in this life. We say we're Christians. Walk in this life. Well, be the example. If you're going to walk and be the example, I ain't got to tell people what I do. Watch me. My actions going to show you. And me going to pray for somebody thinking they're going to get up, I'm taking you to the doctor so they can do whatever they got to do. They can heal you. And if I got a little change in my pocket to help you, let's put that on the bill. Let me go get your family some food. Let's do this thing. I ain't got time for all that.
Does that answer everybody's questions? Okay. First of all, let me see. Bantu, did you have something you wanted to share before we? But we're gonna address that no matter. Bantu, go ahead. Okay. Okay, you can done. Okay, go ahead. No matter. Let's address that, and then Bantu's gonna go for it.
The question was, I'm surmising, how do you balance? This is a two-part question. How do you balance Christianity and the Masonic Temple blend. The Masonic Temple's information is based on Clavicus Solomon's, which are the keys of Solomon, and the lesser keys of Solomon, which entail astrology, cardology, numerology, and other forms of divination. How do you balance that?
Easy, because astrology is in the Bible, but people don't want to take it that way. When you look at the 12 disciples of Christ, the sun that sits in the center and rotates around the different zodiac signs. See, that's a whole other story, a whole other body. They don't want to talk about that. See, you're a devil, you do that. No, the whole thing is based on winter solstice and summer solstice. You know, one day of the year is longer than the other days, and how the sun begins to go a little bit down as we get past December. And Christ wasn't born in December, so I know how to balance it for myself.
Okay.
Are y'all satisfied with that answer? No matter, I can't hear you.
I have a follow-up question. So
Okay.
How are you translating that to your members in your church?
I don't. You know why? Because everybody ain't ready for that journey. I can't do that because everybody ain't ready to drink that water. So I gotta give a little piece at a time.
So would this
Because
be?
if I did it,
Go
if I
ahead.
did it that way, people will be, he crazy. Because people don't read it that way. People are afraid.
So what's so hard about speaking the truth?
It is not hard. It is
What is so
not
hard
hard.
about speaking the truth?
It's
I
not
mean,
hard.
everybody comes in this world knowing right from wrong. Nobody has to tell you. You feel it.
Exactly.
So is it just because like a job?
In the time where it's
How can
time
you
for
how can you be up there saying you stand for one thing, but you're not really being honest about the whole truth?
Everybody, look, everybody can't take certain
Don't get
medication.
mad with me. I'm just asking questions.
No. Please.
No, he be chilling. He be chilling.
I am not.
Tom, don't go there. Don't go there.
No.
I'm not going to get mad. This is not a platform to make anybody mad. I think this is more to open up the dialogue and have a conversation. So with that being said, for me, from my understanding, education point of view, you can't give everybody everything all at once. In order to be clear, you have to drink too much.
How long have you been preaching?
In the pulpit now for about almost 2 years. So I gradually, this is what I gradually gives them a little bit at a time. I gradually do it. It is not something I don't talk about. I talk about the ancestors. You have to, it's a gradual process. I didn't get here overnight. My thought process didn't happen day one. It was a gradual process.
Somebody's dog.
When you hear people talk about these things, some people can't. Some people hate what y'all are saying, and y'all know they do. Because
My mother would come and drag me right now if she even knew I was even partaking in this conversation.
my mom wouldn't. My mom just take me to church every Sunday. After church, we go to somebody else's church. I'm from Mississippi, so we had the BT, this meeting and that meeting, the child meeting. So, as we get older, and my mom told me, read it for yourself, son. Read this because I'm not going to always be with you. And so as you begin to read for yourself and be able to break down terms, what they meant then versus now, it all comes together. It's allegory, signs, and symbols, and it's not difficult for me to put that
So
together.
have you ever read the book of the Negro Christian?
No, I haven't. I'm going to be honest with you. I've read a book similar to that name, but I don't think it was that one.
So does that help you all? And then we're gonna move to Bantu. Does that kind of give y'all the answers y'all were looking for a little bit? Jay, the artist.
I just want to
Jay,
Yes.
from his perspective, yes, it does.
okay.
The only thing that I want to say, knowing that the Bible speaks of astrology and knowing that we are in the age of Aquarius, this is the time for truth to be known. Everybody needs to know the truth. And no matter how much we try to hide it, no matter how much we try to suppress it, it's going to come out irregardless. And this is why you have the panel of the people that you have here right now.
Sweet.
So in speaking from that point of view, I do believe that everybody should know the truth. In my own life journey, I've learned that sometimes telling the truth can really cause more hurt than anything else. So you have to gradually give it to people. I'm not saying you gotta gradually feed people. I've seen some things. I'm telling some people about some stuff I actually know and I've read and I want to share with them. They like, you're crazy. I don't know. I don't want to be your friend no more.
If they can't handle the truth, if they can't handle the truth, if they cannot
They just ain't ready for it.
Just because the truth can hurt somebody doesn't mean it needs to be shared. Because here's the thing, especially if you agree, you can explain things in a developmental way for each age group. But as a pastor, you get in that pulpit every day to preach to the adult. The adults who have children are responsible for explaining things to their children. You have to give the truth for what it is, so that there is no ifs, ands, or buts. There is no mystery, so that people know for what it is, so that they can choose what to do with that information. Whether they get angry at it, whether they accept it, or whether they adapt it is up to them. But well, I'm gonna just give it to you a little bit at a time. No, give it to them straight, so that they don't have to pussyfoot around with you. Because at the end of the day, you are playing with people's lives. People go to church because they want to. I haven't seen it. Want to be saved. I got kicked out of a place, and I stayed there for 12 years because I was afraid to lose my immortal soul. I wanted my family to be saved, and I was abused and misused and led in all types of wrong terms because my pastor refused to tell the truth, and he hid okay, so that they can choose to stay in or get out. But like a lot of people don't understand, it's like if you went and you studied for this, you know everything. People who go to seminary get the choice to choose. And I have a question: is why do people don't have out of the time? Because I think we're gonna hurt the people, so they not gonna go to church no more. If you hide the truth because you think people not gonna go to church anymore,
No.
That's on them. And how do you know
It is on them.
what they can take? How do you know what they can handle and what they can take?
You're absolutely right, but I'll tell you this: if any of you ever gone
I
to
would
a
love
church,
somebody to tell me the truth all the time.
hold on. Have any of you ever gone to a church and the minister got up and said, "Well, let me tell you about the Son," and everybody go to clap because they think you're talking about S-U-N versus S-U-N, and then you begin to talk about how the Son does his thing and bring forth life, and how the zodiac signs run through the sun and the equinox and all of that. Then have you ever heard a preacher get up and talk about the keys of Solomon and how he was able to summon the demons to do all those things that he's done? You know, that really messes with a person's head once they've been programmed to believe such a thing is so wrong.
That's okay. Just because it's not traditional doesn't mean that people don't need to hear it. You can still stay in. And the people who still need to stay in, the people who don't will go. Here's the
Go ahead.
And then
the
Bantu.
ideology of you keeping the real information is in the
I never said
Wait.
I was just keeping it.
Wait, let's see what she
I never said I
says.
was keeping it.
Let's see what she says.
Defining the word, you're not properly defining the word because you're not sharing all of the knowledge that you have to define. But that is the equivalent of white Christian nationalists and white.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna.
It's all for control.
So let's see.
I'm not here.
It's all for control. To control the Negro.
So Bantu. Let's hear what Bantu. We'll either pause or put a tech in it, but you don't have to go anywhere, John. Bantu, go ahead and share just in case you have to leave. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming up. Bantu, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're good. Thank you for being patient.
First of all, I want to say I appreciate all of these people in Canada, because it's so hard for Black people, Mexicans, to come and like turn away from Christianity because they're just so used to it. They always look down on people.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, my internet is bad.
No, you're good.
But I just wanted to talk about how pretty much how Jesus accidentally became the Messiah. So when you think about it, Christianity comes from Judaism, right? They both split like, I don't know, about 2,000 years ago or so, right? So anyways, there was about 15 different practicing religions when Jesus was going around spreading the word of Christianity, right? So the Romans weren't even worried about Christianity back then too, right? So I'll try to be clear. So anyways, so there was this general named Pilates who was the general of Judea, which would be Palestine and Israel today, right? So anyways, he was doing a lot of scamming things back then. So he put Jesus on the cross. It was just punishment. They always put people on crosses to kill them. To unalive them. So basically from that's how Jesus accidentally became the Messiah.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. Now, thank you. And I will tell you this. I've heard about Illuminati, about fraternity, all the things, right? And Divine Nine, all that. But I am not familiar with why a pastor shouldn't be a Mason and what that means. I'll just be honest with you. So I've been enlightened myself on some of that, because as soon as somebody says they're a pastor and they are Mason, people start responding and reacting in a way, because all I've known is church. We weren't allowed to be around that. So I'm just being honest about that. So I don't have much to contribute to that about Masons, but I'm learning, and I'm hearing y'all talking about that means they're really worshiping the devil. And someone said over here on Instagram, they're going to send me some information. So somebody asked the question, why are they called Masons but have a G sign? What does that mean? And that's why I don't know what that means. So those of you that are familiar with, because y'all got heated. So that means y'all know something I don't know.
Gnosis or geometry, but the G wasn't always there. The G is something new. That's an American intervention in regards to Freemason. It was never there. You only had the square and the compass there. So that's what it means. G was never there in the beginning.
Okay.
The reason why it comes up as a conflict, Dorian, is because of the basis of the knowledge inside of Mason/Eastern Stars. And what happens is the rabbis and the Hasidic Jews are the only ones that define this word information, if you will, to utilize it and with the universe to get the things that you want. Like I said, the book that I have, the Clavicus Solemnis, this book is almost 1,000 years old, and it gives implicit instructions at the beginning of the Masonic process of how you obtain levels of wealth, levels of power.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not familiar with that particular book. I'm not. But I would say this. Most Masons, hell, themselves don't even understand the crap because they don't indulge themselves in it. They come for the meetings. Let's have lunch. Let's go out and have a good time. Let's go get. Half of them mother suckers don't even know. Let's just be honest with that. So when you see the Compton Square, most of those guys don't indulge in anything I basically said. They don't indulge in the esoteric, none of that knowledge. Although it's there for them, they don't do it. Especially Black Masons, because a lot of them are Christians. They scared as hell.
John, is it because there's level to it? When people are like, I don't know about that, we don't do all of that, it's because, like Nomadic, I think you said one time, it's because some people are on a higher level of it and they're not privy to the people that's on the higher level of it.
No, it's not. Look, I have my 33rd degree, which is the highest degree that you can obtain in the Scottish Rite Masons, okay? And there are things that are taught there regarding esoteric and symbolisms and all of that stuff. It's there if you want to learn it. Most Masons and Eastern Stars never touch that shit. They're too scared, too spooked out. Plain and simple. Most of the Eastern Stars got the different colors on the star point, don't even understand how it connects to the chakras, what it does. They don't care about this stuff. A lot of them don't.
It's not that they don't care, sir, but if I can say, and first of all, thank you for standing under the pressure of deconstruction with us. But if I can say, The reason why they don't is because of what you're doing. They haven't been properly given the benefits of lighting the blue candle on Thursday at the Jupiter hour. They haven't been given the benefits of actually going outside and putting their feet in the sun at the sun hour. And so these are things that you and I know, right?
That's not true.
Go ahead.
And I agree with you. I agree to disagree when you say they don't know. Everybody, when they become Masons and Eastern Stars, start off at the same point. The same point.
Know that we're not Masons and Easter Stars.
Please let them know that.
Are all Masons and Eastern Stars in here? I'm none of that.
No,
So Big Troll.
I'm not a pastor. Somebody asked me that because I got a
Big Troll, John is a pastor and he's also a Mason. So we were asking him about the conflict of it. And John, if I was to tell you, because I'm on 2 other platforms, if someone in the comments was to say that you're lying and that you're not supposed to be revealing this stuff, how would you address it that you are one of them and you shouldn't be revealing this stuff?
I tell them to try me. And how will I be tried? Yeah, if you want to come that way. Absolutely. I have traveled the freaking world.
His
To the
father.
young lady in the bikini, yeah, you fine. I ain't gonna lie. And yeah, I said that.
Thank you.
Okay, now what's next?
His father, this guy's father was a 33.
Talk about Fight Club. We ain't supposed to be talking about Fight Club.
His father was a level 33 too.
What do a Fight Club? Now that's some crazy stuff. If I ever come across some Masons about
Okay.
a Fight Club, they gonna be by themselves. They gonna be by themselves. I don't know nothing about a Fight Club. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Is the Masons like a fraternity? Like you have to do the same thing in fraternities to be part of the Masons?
Have your
It's totally different.
eyes closed and
The process is totally different.
no put something over your face to initiate you. Somebody's in the comments saying you can't tell us what happened to you.
No, nothing like that.
They're calling you a
I'm gonna
liar.
tell you this here. You ask me the question, be truthful with you. In some of these lodges, they do beat your ass. I'm being
And I
honest
thank
with
you.
you. And hold on. And with that being said, where I'm at and what we do, we don't do that. You can get sued, you can get
Somebody
mad
said
at so
Blanca.
much to that. But yes, in some lodges that has been found to be true. There's some people that actually lost their lives. That's a fact.
Well, what brother 357, you putting your hands over your face like shaking your head. Do you not agree or do you agree? Because you have the G/ you have it in your username, brother 357. So then, brother Johnny, why are you having these talks with them? So people are they're just saying you're lying and you should be talking to us.
Because for me, I can have these conversations with anyone. Because most people who take these oaths and obligations don't go back and read them and see what they really, really mean. They don't.
Okay.
And it's truth.
So
They take them because they want to be part of the Freemasons. Because my daddy was a Mason and my mama was an Eastern Star. That ain't for them.
You perjuring yourself. I'm gonna get you in trouble.
I don't give two rats.
okay,
I don't give
I'm
two.
looking for you.
you swore
They can
to
come looking and they're going to get what they come looking for.
you
But
swore
I'm just telling you, I speak freely. I'm a man first.
So you
He's-
didn't have to swear not to tell the whole truth, not the truth to nobody else.
No, why you a pastor though? Why be a pastor at all?
you swore never to reveal and always conceal your clandestine. That's what they're saying.
I don't give a rat's booty what they say. Look, as I said before, and I'm going to answer the young lady's question. I have traveled the world as a Mason, okay? So whatever they got to say, it doesn't, they can call me a rat, a boot, whatever. I don't care.
John, they can
But back to the
unalive
lady.
you. Go ahead. They can unalive.
Look, they don't roll like that. Only
Okay.
a few Masonic organizations really roll like
They
that.
kicked you out. You're not part of the club no more.
They say you're not our brother.
They
That
say,
They
look,
kicked you out.
your travel card. They're kicking you out in the comments on TikTok.
I'm going to say this.
Okay.
I'm going to say this.
Okay.
In the United States, they don't roll like that no more. There was a time that could actually be true. But however, they don't roll like that in America no more. Now, over in other countries, I couldn't wear that G in that square in that Congress. I would have to actually use the signs and the symbols. I would actually have to use that to identify. exactly who I am. I've been outside this country as a Mason. And you just can't be freely walking around that Compton Square on like that. There's some real stuff versus over here. Man, you know.
What y'all do, the secret handshake?
Yeah, you got the book. It's in the book. The sister was just reading something.
John.
It's all in the books.
So here we're about to wrap up.
Y'all can go buy the books. Why am I trying to tell you some secret when y'all can go buy them?
But listen.
I ain't tripping with nobody.
But here's the thing, John, because we're about to wrap up, y'all. I'm on 2 other platforms, and they can hear even though you don't see them, and they're all saying you're lying. He's lying.
No,
Lies.
I ain't lying.
Even on
I ain't
TikTok,
lying.
they're
Look, I
saying
ain't got nothing
lies.
to hide. Hold on a second.
There's only
Like
2
you said.
kind of legit Masons. Prince Hall affiliated in Grand Lodge of State, and he's not. He'd be stripped. It's in all the books. It's a lie.
Look, hold on. I'm trying to pull up so I can show my face.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Orabashe. All right.
Trying to crucify, I wouldn't do that. I would tread lightly. You know what?
We're about to benedict on this.
Look, I don't give 2 rat cents. You can go on my own page and you can see how they talk about me on my own page. So I don't care. Look, to my Prince Hall brothers, to my modern free, to all of those Masons, and the black, and especially the black diaspora Masons, who's kissing a white Mason's ass because you want to be next to them. Let me tell you how that rolls out, all right? Because you want to be just like them. No, I ain't about being like them. I'm a man on my own 2 feet, my 2 arms, all right? So all that other BS about you ain't this and you ain't that, man, y'all can go do whatever you gotta do. Plain and simple.
We can
You
pull
have
up.
no authority over here, okay? You have none. You can go call Jesus, Muhammad, Allah, whoever. You have no authority over here.
I'm a Christian, so I'm out of it.
I'm sorry.
I didn't need to get you riled up like that.
But it's not you. But no. Is it Black? Is it Black? What is it? Black Boney? What is it? Black? No. Black Bunny. No, it's not you. It's his brothers, I guess. They're in the comments. I'm on Instagram.
I know, that's what I see. That's
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. They can go over my YouTube channel, John G. Jones Research Yards 147. They can go over there. I go live over there if they want to come and have some conversations.
Yeah, because it's some.
I got a TikTok.
Handle it.
I
And
got a TikTok, John G. Jones 147.
yeah, they telling him on TikTok to pull up and that where you at. And some of your initial.
It's 12:15 in California time. I'm going live at 1 o'clock.
Okay. And
Okay, yes. Get the people with it.
So if y'all want to pop over, pop over.
John,
This is the best conversation I've had in a long time.
I'm used to the deconstructing crew.
well, Rob said he gonna come to your live, because they say y'all do all kind of stuff. You're not supposed to talk about sleeping with each other for initiation.
Hey, and I would tell you this, since what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
what you just said about sleeping with, hell yeah, they over there sleep with each other wives. I said that, and I know that. Okay.
Somebody said, "Hey, yo."
I said, and let me tell you this.
Ex-wife of a.
Somebody said they gonna pray for you.
And my father-in-law is Mason. My ex-father-in-law was Mason, and being a ex-wife of a Kappa, he's right. They all sleep with each other's wives.
And I'm gonna tell you this here. I'm gonna tell you this here. There is a degree that is called Red Star degree, right? And most of the
It's like a soap opera.
it's called a Red Star degree. And most Prince Hall Masons don't know about the Red Star degree, and it's in their jurisdiction, okay? And the Red Star degree is simply a degree for females who like to hang out with other men who are married.
He's talking
And I
about.
got the book.
He's
So
absolutely
don't
right.
tell me.
He said.
My ex-husband's best friend was Mason,
They got a
and he
book.
slept with
Tell
every
women how to
Tom,
do
Dick,
what?
and Harry. You were absolutely
called-
right.
It is called the Red Star. That's the name of the book.
I
But-
know, but they teaching women to do what?
It is not that they're teaching them. What's happening is in this particular degree work, yeah, they over there doing the
No, he said, but he said not just sleeping with wives. Y'all are sleeping with each other as men.
No, I don't do. I would say this here.
I don't judge nobody for what they do.
Each other as men. Yes, tell the truth.
That's part of the initiation.
tell you this here.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Then you weren't a good man.
But men
Right.
I would tell you this. Like I said before, I'm a man first. So if that's some shit they do, that's what they do.
Have you seen
And
I'm Prince. We've had somebody.
I ain't gonna say that lie because I'm on TikTok. I hear it all the time.
Okay, there you go. A little bit of truth in everything.
You know, there's truth in everything. Let's not cut it up and say
Again,
there's truth in everything.
he-
There are some men. Let's be honest. If they gonna really talk about it, see within the confines of Freemason, you're supposed to live a particular life, right? A lifestyle per se. But what happens is
Which
a
is
lot
what?
of
Can you
these
explain that, please? Can you explain what lifestyle is supposed to? What's the lifestyle?
an upright
Heterosexual
lifestyle.
man.
heterosexual.
Yes, but let's be upfront. There are some not so heterosexual men within the framework of Freemasonry. As a matter of fact, in the Grand Lodge of California last year, two individuals came out and said, "Hey, yeah, we've been sleeping together." One was a wishful master, and the other was coming as to be a wishful master. That is simply saying they was changing leadership in the lodge, and they straight said it. They didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing.
You're Clandy. What does Clandy mean? What,
And you want to go a little bit further? Because y'all got me on one right now.
what's Clandy, John? What does Clandy mean?
Clandy means I'm not accepted. Clandy means I'm bogus. Clandy means I don't know what I'm talking about. That's a lie. Go to my page. You can go over to my page and you can watch my videos. I'm talking about everything.
I want to see who's that Ruger.
May I interject?
Ruger.
John, I think you are.
Because Ruger is real.
Go ahead, Jay, the artist.
I think you are bold in what you're sharing. I'm not a Mason. I'm very clear about that. When I was in college, I never cared to join a fraternity because I went to college knowing who I was. And like you're saying, a lot of men join different fraternal orders, whether it be Greek or otherwise, because they're seeking to find themselves. They're looking to become a part of something.
A part of a
And so for you to put your safety, I'm going to say, on the line to shed light on, really appreciate you for that. But at the same time, I want to encourage you to watch your back.
Because somebody over here said they praying for you, and God may God protect you. Well, here's the thing, Black Bunny. Black Bunny, you know how the Christians say. But see, go ahead, John.
Let me say this.
Yes, Chef
I
C.
want to say this. They don't know me, and they don't know who I know. So everybody knows somebody. Everybody knows somebody, and everybody can be got to.
This is not East Coast, West Coast, please.
It's not. No, we're not doing that. But when people, no, we're not. You're absolutely right.
That's not even necessary. Ain't that deep.
It's not. What I'm saying is, I'm protected in the name of Jesus.
Okay, we're back to that now. Back on
Well, you know how them Christians used to say, they would say, "May no negative energy come to me on this video." Well, I ain't talking about. I'm talking about the. Well, see,
I'm protected in my own name.
exactly.
And if that's not enough, I just thank you. And it's my concealed carry button.
May no negative energy come from this video.
Hey, I'm going on about 1 o'clock. I got some business to take care of.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you, Bantu. I appreciate everybody.
for your participation. Thank you for all of your information. Thank you.
Right. Or John. Or mama. Or Rabashe. Everybody stretch forth your hands to John.
You know what? Don't do it.
Yeah. I appreciate
Don't do it.
y'all. Well, I'll be back on later. Okay. So I'll be back Wednesday night. Maybe hopefully John will be still here with us amongst the land of the living on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central. Somebody said, John, don't do it over here. Don't do it, John. They say, don't do it. He said, I know someone too. Whoops, whoop. Okay, oop. Okay. Whoop, whoop. Lord, yes.
That's why I asked him the question, how do you balance that? Because either you're being dishonest with the members or you're being dishonest with the brotherhood.
Mm.
All of it. He dishonest with himself. He dishonest with his members. He dishonest with the brotherhood. All of the above.
Right. And somebody said, Ruger said, don't let that man come on here and lie to y'all again.
He said, I only give them what they can handle. I only give them a little bit of truth. What's a little bit of truth?
Yes, what is a little bit of truth when they really need to know the whole truth?
No, it's either the whole truth.
Because let me tell you something.
He's not a real Mason.
And I'm going to say it and I'm going to say it. Y'all Babylon the Great. Y'all the Babylon the Great. Y'all the false religion. All y'all are false religion. And that's what we need to tell them the truth so they can get away from Babylon the Great. That's all y'all say is what it is.
Right.
So let's say what it is.
Right.
We need to get our people out of that so they can progress and they can be the best that they can be. And they can't be the best when they don't know their purpose in this life. They cannot be the best when they don't know who they are. So them churches are Babylon the Great. Religion is false. All religion is false. We need to come together with each other so that we can have that relationship with the Creator, with the Most High. Not have nobody sit up there and intercede. Exactly.
Well, there.
All the way around.
They said he's betraying the brother. He's.
When I talk about it, I'm talking about getting people out of it. I want to open up their eyes. I want to open up their mind and their perspective to see that there was something else that was supposed to be given to us other than what the white man gave to us, and that's the reason why we're still enslaved. We are still slaves. Oh, no, I'm not.
In a certain extent.
Slaves today.
Right. But
I recently became free.
most Masons are Christians. We see in that he's out here betraying the brotherhood. Pastors out here playing. All of us are Christians. So all Masons are Christians. I'm learning because I'm gonna be honest. I was so churched we couldn't, do anything other than the Bible. So I don't know what the issue is. I'm learning now what the issue is. The white man gives us so much. All Masons are not Christians. So, there's a different belief there. But all right, as long as you believe in God, it's a lot. What are you talking about? The white man gives us so much cool stuff, though. You got to be a troll. Well, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have the best day. What y'all finna go do for the rest of the day? So here's the shift. So I didn't. Right. So I've been doing this for a minute, and I would never let Christians, pastors come up or talk politics because it's just whatever. But I have decided after letting a Jewish rabbi come on recently that I'll allow pastors or like leaders to come up because that's where it starts. Digging in their behind and just embarrassing them and dragging them and showing them for what, what I'm saying, to a certain extent. But so I appreciate y'all for being up here. And so, yeah, so that would I did not know. For sure. I didn't know it was going to go all of there. So may no negative energy from this video. Right? Yeah.
And if you do follow us, you know how I'm locked and loaded over here.
I'm just being sarcastic because that's what you see Christians do. Christians will go watch a video about witchcraft and go in the comments talking about, may no negative energy. Why would you watch it? What you scared of? So I'm really just mocking them. We're good. We're good. So no atheist can be a Mason. You didn't cause a ruckus. It's knowledge that we all need to know. So basically, a Mason, you have to believe in God or you have to be a Christian. But somebody said not all Masons are Christians. Yes. All right, y'all. Y'all didn't tell me what y'all finna do today. Stop being disobedient. What y'all finna do for the rest of the day?
Gotta work on some music as soon as they get off the 5:30.
Y'all go look at his music. Look, he's an music artist. He's got a show. Follow all the people on here, all that kind of stuff. So, Nomadic, may the what you call it? May the witches watch.
May the witches watch between me and you while we are absent from this TikTok live.
What about Shay? I'll Shay.
Moon is coming up. Aquarius in Aquarius.
And I am an Aquarius.
Hey, my good people. Yeah, hey, my good people down there. If y'all didn't know, that's my love buddy right there. He's an Aquarius too. So, yes. And who is this that's just now sitting in the box? He left away. He went away. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all Wednesday, 7 p.m. or next Monday, 12 p.m. All right. See y'all later. Love you too. Bye-bye. Bye, YouTube. YouTube, I'm sitting here asking y'all questions in the chat. Y'all ain't said nothing. Yes, DM me. But it's cool. Y'all can always just sit and chill. I got to what do you call it? Boot up my devices because they're all dead. Y'all have a great day.